We are live. We are live.
Yay! Let me go tweet it out real quick.
Yeah, let's do that. I think at some point too, we gotta have like these like ridiculous titles. I mean, I guess that'd be a good title. Panda Global exploded. Because I like you can't have something like more clickbaity than that. There's nothing more clickbaity. Have the thumbnail of like like a panda on fire or something. Oh man, that's too funny. You know what? I never post on Facebook, but let's do that too. What's up? What's up, guys? What's up? We have a lot to talk about. Actually, you know what's funny? You know what's funny is that we have a lot to talk about in general, like both good and bad. It seems that like the last couple weeks has given us a lot of ammo, a lot of good things to look forward to as well, which is even crazier because like usually when you see some bad stuff, it's usually just bad stuff. But with a lot of things coming out, freaking news on Project L, beta on Street Fighter, like
yep,
that's good. So yeah,
that's good.
What's up, guys? God's canceled with FChamp. What's up, FChamp? How you doing?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Trying to come back sometime when the new game comes out. But yeah, I've been great.
That's good to hear. You been playing anything?
No, I don't really play anything. I actually can play Street Fighter already, but I chose to not play it until I get a formal announcement from Capcom that I'm okay to compete, even though I'm okay to compete. But I want them, since they tweeted that I couldn't compete in the past, I want them to tweet it out that I can compete. And that's the only reason why I haven't played. But same time, right now I'm just working. I'm working at a tech company, and just stacking up. Yeah, that's about it. I think I'm quite in a good place. I just been watching all these things happening on Twitter unfold. I'm like, damn, what the hell is happening with the FGC, dude? This has been crazy. That's like my ex-sponsor, which is Panda Global. I see a lot of people quitting, and I see Chris G becoming a villain once again. I mean, yeah, so it's kind of insane. I was like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, so I think the big thing about doing this, and me and FChamp have talked about it, a little shortly, but I feel like at some point, I'm just tired. I'm tired of everything. I'm tired of everyone, and even though I'm not necessarily changing who I am because this is still who I am. I don't lie. I just want to tell things and see things as they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to report the news as they are. I want to let you guys know what's going on. And like, no sugarcoating things. If somebody says you like or not like something, I don't want to be like, yeah, I like something, but I actually don't. So I want things to be as real as possible. Nobody's paying me, just right. No sugar, full salt. Nah. But yeah, no, just keeping it 100. And I feel like at some point the scene not necessarily has gotten fake, but a lot of people are holding back what they want. I think it's just like a full on culture thing, moving on with times. 2022, like people feel like they can't really say too much, and why not? This is a perfect time to do something like this, right? FChamp, are you sponsored?
No.
Okay, you're not sponsored. I'm not sponsored either. We have no obligations, to hold our tongues and whatnot. So why not just
Wait. My question here is, like, are you sure you're not sponsored? Because I see a Windex behind you. Is that product placement?
What's funny? Somebody mentioned that earlier too. Freaking Windex.
It's like, why do we have Windex here? Like, I didn't know you played piano, man.
No, this is one of the things that I actually really want to do. I haven't learned. I started learning before I moved, but you know things got real, a little too
It's
real,
a good hobby.
and yeah, I really want to learn the piano, and just learn music in general. I need where's I forget FGC. Wow, where's Fnatic when you need him?
Right?
Turned it around.
Well,
No,
it's
no, no longer.
speaking of sponsor, like I don't think that's a problem to acquire a new sponsor, bro. I think at least for most of my career, I've been sponsored like 99%. Even when I first started, I was sponsored. I think that's not really a challenge to get sponsored, in my opinion. I think it's just what game are you focusing on and how how relevant is that game to the FGC or to the gaming world or to the esports scene, right? Like, so if you're playing a game that's quite popular, that has quite a few crossover to the outside world and to the FGC, then if you're a top player, then it's a no-brainer that you're gonna get sponsored. If you're one of the 10 best players of that game, yes, it's quite easy to get sponsored, in my opinion. And then you're streaming regularly. You can hold an interview. It's quite simple to get sponsored, I think. So I think if assuming Street Fighter 6 comes out or Project L, like it's impossible not to get sponsored. I feel it's quite impossible based on like if I was a sponsor and I see, oh shit, Chris G is a free agent, and Chris G is playing Street Fighter 6 and he's mauling people, or playing Project L and he's just crazy. And okay, what's the highest rank in league? Is he Challenger?
Yeah, challenger. Was it top
Okay,
top
so let's say you're a
100 or top 200? I think it is.
Yeah, so let's say you're a challenger, but you're like a top 10 challenger, and then you're Chris fucking G. It's no brainer. Like people are just gonna sign you. Doesn't make sense, right? You grab one of the best, like to ever do it. It's kind of no brainer to me. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, right now there's no game that we can put our passion to, like So you're just playing side games, but you're not really training. You're just playing.
Yeah,
You know.
I've been noticing a lot that and you keep seeing it, and we'll speak on the Panda thing as well, because a lot of these guys are now free agents, right? But a lot of these people, they're playing all these games. Everyone's playing games. This is the online era, and I've noticed that a lot of these people are also looking for sponsors. But just like you said, right? There is only 1 to 2 quote unquote relevant games that are important enough to pick up players, right? So like when I see a lot of people, well, DBFZ, I'm a DBFZ player, I'm looking for a sponsor. It's like, all right, well, what do you want? Money, flying, for what? Are you going to win the tournament? So if you're not going to literally win the tournament, then there's zero, at least even to me, right? And I understand every player has their qualifications, right? Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, these players don't deserve to be sponsored. It's just, let's be real, right? Like why would a company, let's turn this back around, Windex right here. Why would Windex want to sponsor King of Fighters player? Why would Windex want to sponsor DBFZ at this point with no rollback? So it's like it's very iffy. And right now this is like a dry era, and we're kind of waiting for the next big things, right? Obviously Tekken 8, freaking Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 6, and Project L. Like at this point, we're all just doing stuff. We're just pushing buttons like the rest of them. So it's like, why do we want to pay you $2,000-$3,000, and what tournaments are you going to? Like let's be realistic. That's the problem. The problem is that people aren't realistic enough. And I'm like, I'm telling you right now, like let's be realistic, guys. Come on.
Like, also, if you're trying to get sponsored, like in general, not yourself, like in general, like other players out there, There's a lot of deals that you can take actually, but there just might be shitty deals. Like I can like okay during 2017 2018 time, like and I was sponsored, like I could have taken other deals that could have been. I mean that's a lot worse than what deal that I've got, right? So I'm saying like with your case, Chris, like you could have taken so many deals throughout this time, but they could have been like not that not as profitable or not as worth your time. Like, like paying for your flight or your hotel and your registration and maybe a small salary, like that's not worth your time. You need like a massive amount of salary. Like, that's usually how it works. Like, not okay, like in general, like with me back then, I wasn't taking any deal below $5,000 of salary. Like it has to be quite high, but in the same time I wasn't just doing playing, like like the thing is like some of these companies, they want the brand that comes along with you being great at what you do, but they also want the ability for you to sell their brand or their team or their sponsors. So most of the time they're actually paying for an influencer that knows how to play fighting games versus a fighting game that can somehow influence or sell a brand, right? That's usually, I mean, that all comes down to it, right? It's not like in basketball, like, they play basketball, they're really great at what they do, they're a professional athlete, and then they can somehow influence or sell their shoes or their brand or their team, whatever, right? But in fighting games, we're not like that. So most teams, they look for a player that is great, but is primarily as an influencer, right? Mostly like a pro player that just press buttons and kill people in the game. So unfortunately, it has became like that,
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's mostly like that.
The content creation avenue, it has come pretty
Yeah.
fast. Honestly, like for me, I've always wanted to do content. Uh, what's actually crazy, and let's name drop here, Evil Geniuses. They didn't care about that.
Mhm.
They didn't care about content creation at all.
Mhm.
And that's what I always find weird. Like it seems that as soon as COVID hit, every single sponsor, every single company, they all like instantly just 180'd. You know what I'm saying? It's very weird. Like because again, when I was trying to do it, they said no. They literally said no. They were like, "Hey, like we pay you to play. Sorry. Oh, you want to go to conventions? You want a camera? You want all this stuff? We're not going to do any of that." So I mean, yeah, it helps that I was at the time, I was going to freaking 2-3 tournaments a month, so it didn't really matter. But now, hey, hindsight, 2020, all that dumb stuff. Yeah, it would have been perfect to have started back then, as opposed to like
Oh man.
trying to catch up now, now that everybody's on the YouTube
Mhm.
grind.
Oh wow, that's actually a pretty good perspective from your end. Like I didn't know that that was your experience with them.
Yeah,
Like
no,
because
it
like
was
most
with
of
most
my
of them.
sponsors is different. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good deal for you. Like they're only expecting you to play. Like most of my sponsorships before, most of them are like obviously they love the character. When they sign me, they love the character that I'm playing. They love that I'm sort of I mean quote unquote a villain, or they love when I keep continuing the story that what I'm trying to portray, and they love that I go to convention or I host events for them, or they want me to meet up with WWE guys, or they want me to make content with them, or do more interviews, go to sponsor events, like to host like their charity events, etc. Like that's what they were paying me for. And I even have to ask them, I would like to practice the next week because I have a tournament, and I have to ask to practice, because most of their
Damn.
focus was to me. Yeah, because I couldn't practice anymore. They just want me to keep traveling to do everything else but playing, but in the same time, there's no pressure for me to, like when it comes to my results in general. The results just happen and it comes. Like, sure, I will place good, I will win, I would like lose, I will place, I will win, and so on. It would just be a recurring thing, and they don't really care about that. I don't lose value, or I can only gain value by winning, but I don't lose value by losing in their eyes. So that in that I was quite grateful for that, like with them, you know. So I had a different experience, at least from your end.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like I know moving forward though that if I do get a sponsor, like obviously they have to see the vision, you know, like well, like I guess what the vision is pretty much what's just happening right now, you know, like in terms of just content. So yeah, I am good and I know I could win, but like I guess at this point, right up until Street Fighter 6, none of that really matters. You know,
Oh yeah, for sure.
like we could talk about freaking like of course Punk winning, right, the qualifier this past weekend, you know, and whoever else is winning in the other places. Uh, like honestly, me personally, I don't really care. Like I'm just waiting for 6. I'm waiting for the game,
Mhm.
and then you know make content along the ways.
Yeah. I mean, most people now, they're just basically trying to be productive as much as they can, or try to keep their brain fresh or their hands warm until the relevant game comes out, right? Like, so people play the games that they like, you know, try to stream, you know, make some few revenue from that. But in general, unfortunately, there isn't much to do in the fighting game community but to make content or to keep yourself somewhat relevant to the scene until the relevant game comes out. You know, like which is Street Fighter 6 or Tekken or Project L, etc. So that's why most of the players nowadays they haven't been active. Like most of the players that you know, they haven't really been active. You know,
Yeah,
they're yeah. And there's not a lot of people traveling as well. Since there's not much tournaments out there as well, like compared before. So I'm sure a lot of that will change once Street Fighter 6 comes out. I do think Street Fighter 6 doesn't come out in February, what everybody was expecting. I do think that comes out in May or June, based
I
on
was thinking like early summer, honestly.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that's a good assessment too. But you know, how, like some people on Twitter thinking it was going to be February, like before the CPT season starts, right? Like, so it's gonna be weird. But yeah, Street Fighter 6 doesn't come out until May. Imagine, look, they haven't announced. Usually, there's like what 22 characters that like Street Fighter 5. They had what 16, and then they keep releasing the 6 characters throughout the season, right? So right now they've only announced 8 characters. During this time from the Street Fighter timeline, they already announced all 16 characters already, right?
Yeah,
Like during the month of December, yeah, we had all the characters already, right? And then the game was released in February, and then that's what happened, right? Right now, we're not even close to that. So, and then they've also announced that Street Fighter 5 will be in Evo Japan on April. So that could potentially be the final Street Fighter 5 tournament as well. So can't see Street Fighter 6 happening anytime soon.
yeah.
So
Actually,
it's gonna be a while.
now that you mentioned that, that makes 100% sense. Like, yeah, I mean, wasn't Street Fighter 5 and 4? Didn't all that release in like February of their respective years? I think that's probably why everyone thinks that Street Fighter 6 is going to release in February. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Did they all release in February's or around there?
Yeah, yeah. It's usually always February. Yeah. So Street Fighter 5 was released in February. Street Fighter 4 was February as well. I think it was Feb something, but it's always February. Marvel 3, obviously, you know, that's like February as well. Yeah. So most of them are February. That's usually the Capcom timeline of release. Is always that during those time.
Damn. Well, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? We get to deal with more Luke Fighter 5, you know, until until then. Man, I'm tired of seeing that character. Actually, you know what? You don't really play Street Fighter 5. So, what is your opinion on like even if you watch tournaments like just seeing Luke all over the place nowadays?
Uh-huh. Um, well, it doesn't really surprise me because that happened. That's it. That exact. I mean, the same exact thing that is happening now happened in Street Fighter 4 when everybody was playing Elena. I mean, towards the end of the game, that always happens that way, right? Street Fighter 4 happened. I mean, when they patched it, they got a new version. Everybody was playing Elena at one point, right? And then,
I
or
played
they play a
Elena.
different character. Yeah, or they play another character, but their side is Elena. So it's the same thing right now. There's a lot of Luke, but in the same time, there's also a lot of other characters, right? But then, yeah, sure, you can see Luke kind of dominating. You see Dawson is quite good. Poison is really good, and so on. But yeah, in general, that doesn't really surprise me, especially always at the end part of the end life of a game. People always pick the best character because most things are figured out already. You know, most things are figured out. At least for a Street Fighter game, right?
Yeah, I think the only thing is the game is not necessarily the hardest game. You know, to me personally, I think the game is easy as hell. Uh, but when you see Luke, he really is that simple of a character. Like there's nothing intricate. There's no real thought plan behind the character. And I think like for certain games, like even with Street Fighter 4 with Elena, it's too easy to pick up a character like that. They just win. You know, it's not like hey, if I put in a little bit of work, you know, like I'll see results. Kind of like why people didn't play Yun or stuff like that. You know, just they didn't feel comfortable playing characters like that. But Luke is just that easy of a character. He's got a sonic boom as a quarter circle motion, plus unblock normals, frame traps, freaking you know, good V trigger, perfect anti-air setups, you know, and his V skill is a grab baiter.
Yeah, that's really good. Let me ask you a question about that. Okay, so when you say very easy and just wins, so what is that? What you're saying? Like you're just gonna beat people in general? Because like when I say the word easy, anybody can pick up. I think about winning tournaments. So I'm saying like, so if you're fighting against the best player in the world, right? And you're fighting against the best players in the world, you're gonna beat like all the players leading up into the last 16 top guys, right? But then Chris, you're so talented enough that even if you're not playing Luke, you're still gonna beat all the players leading up to the top 16 anyways.
Oh, for sure.
So,
I'm just saying, like
yeah.
if I pick up Luke, and I've been playing Luke like every now and then, and the game plan really is that simple. I find myself mashing, like I actually mash, in the middle of people's block strings. I mash target combo, and you know if it hits, I win. If it misses, I activate V trigger, and I'm still plus on block. So it's like it's just crazy. It really, I like, and it's funny too because I actually like Luke, right? But the character's so simple that I've never actually picked up a character where I just felt like I had power just off jump. You know, yeah. Have you ever played a game and picked up a character where you're just like, wow, like I just feel that much better. Like I'm just that much of a better player now. You know, and
We all felt that. We all felt that when you picked Virgil.
Exactly, yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. I tried so hard to not pick Virgil. Even though I do like Virgil, I didn't like the fact that people played him just with X Factor. I had to learn how to play Virgil with missiles because I was like, I'd rather have Virgil level 2 X Factor than Virgil level 3 X Factor and Prey. I'd rather have a solid, you know, character, but he's also broken. So it's like it's definitely one of those things where I'm like, damn, like, okay, you pick up the character, you might actually just get results. You know, like, am I gonna knock someone's like results because of that? Of course not. We can make fun of them. Yeah, we can make fun of the people that lose to them, but I'm not gonna actually like knock the person unless you see. And this is, I always have this point, right? If you purposely pick a top tier and suck, you deserve everything bad that people say about you. Like, I'm being real. Yeah, like if you actually pick up these characters and are absolute trash, I get to call you freely. I get to call you trash. You're actually garbage. So, you know, so it's like
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because think about it, right? Let's say me and you playing freaking Marvel 3. I pick up Virgil. I actually do worse. You would call me. You'd actually think there's something wrong with me. Like you'd be like, wait a minute, what? Isn't he supposed?
Yeah, we're gonna have a heart-to-heart talk.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna have a heart-to-heart talk. Like, bro, come on, man. It shouldn't be this way.
Like you've seen the videos. It shouldn't be this hard. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's just how I feel. But you know, just like that, I feel like you would have the right to call me garbage if I did pick up Virgil and suck. You know, so that's just how I feel. You know, I think Luke is definitely easy, like to the point where you really can not necessarily win a tournament because you still need to learn how to anti-air. But
or check dashes.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to learn how to do that basic stuff.
Sure.
But he is easy enough to make top 16 for sure because you picked him up.
All right, that's a good statement. All right, so what's up with the Panda Global? What's happening?
Oh, for sure. All right, guys. For those who don't know, the big topic of the night, right? Obviously, when it comes to FGC and drama, it just so happens that this past week has been pretty interesting. Panda Global, everybody knows who they are, you know, and if you don't, they're a company team that sponsors a lot of players. They've been around, especially with the Smash scene, and yeah, they somehow exploded. And what I mean by that is and now this is the thing. Everyone keeps saying that it's one person. So one person, Dr. Allen, he's actually a doctor. So he's not just regular Dr. Allen. He didn't just make that up, right? So Dr. Allen decides to strong arm a bunch of tournaments so that they can be part of the Panda World Tour, World Cup, and what is it? What was the other tournament? The Smash World Tour.
Smash World Tour.
Yeah, World Tour.
Smash World Tour.
Don't work with them. Work with us, right? And I think the biggest issue is because they have the actual official license and the Smash World Tour didn't. That they found that they could get away with it, and by they, people are saying he, but just like that apology or whatever, I don't even know what it was. All right, I'm looking at it right now. They say that they had nothing to do with it, but yet they're saying that they kind of did, or they say know about it. That essay was really bad, but it actually doesn't say anything. It really doesn't say anything. And to me, what that tells me is that it can't just be one person. It can't be. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like it's just Allen, because think about it, right? Like this is a whole organization. They've got content creators. They've got freaking people proofreading. They hire people to proofread. They got freaking social media workers. All that stuff. They're full-on teams. You know? And besides it denying responsibility, I think one big thing is that you're telling me, right? And this goes for David as well. You're telling me you let Allen write that? I don't know. What do you think about that? Because it really says absolutely nothing. And I feel like they're kind of doubling down, and Allen's tweet does say that he is doubling down. He's going to let people know, quote unquote, what's actually happening, you know, in some, you know, future timeline. But I don't believe that it's just him.
Okay. Like this is a very hard topic for me to talk about in general because number one, Panda Global was one of my ex-sponsors, and they have done nothing but take care of me. Like I'm telling you, like they've structured my contracts and my future contracts when I transition to new teams so good that it's so hard for me to like even think about that they're a bad team or or managed by a bad person, you know? from my perspective. But from the news, from the information that I have or had that I have read from Twitter, is that obviously they were able to somehow get a license from Nintendo to host tournaments, and then with that they were able to host their own cup or their kind of like their own tour in general. But they then used that strong armed other tournaments, like, hey, if you're not going to join our tournament, then we're going to shut you down for this year or next year. So that's what they did. We essentially kind of like hurt the grassroots of the Smash community. Right, like, because you're if you're canceling tournaments, or tournaments cannot operate based on if they're going to join you or not, so you're kind of like monopolizing the entire community, like, only for you, right? And then so in that sense, that's kind of terrible and it's bad. Though that's what I read on Twitter. I'm not entirely sure if that's the whole story or that's the whole gist of it. But like, also when you said what you just to talk about what you said, like it's impossible that it's just one person. Okay, that's fair because they are an organization, so they have staff, they have stakeholders, they have there's like David and Alan in general, right? Like, so obviously when they make that decision, they had to talk about that, or most of the people there were like aware what they
Right,
were gonna do.
right,
I
because
just didn't like,
it was
yeah,
their response was what, 3 days later. So I mean,
yeah,
somebody, because again, like, what do you do? What does anybody do when they're in trouble, right? And especially if it's not true. If someone
yeah.
calls you out and it's not true, what do? First, you say, "Nah, I didn't do it." Then you gather your evidence, that lets people know, "Hey, I actually didn't do it." Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what did they do?
Okay.
They kind of do the opposite. They do nothing, then write that statement. Then Alan writes, "Hey, I'm going to let you know the truth." And it's like, wait a minute. If that was the case, wouldn't you have done that in the first place?
I think it's trying to be politically correct, though. Like, also, all right, Chris, this is what I'm saying. They're fucked. That's basically what happened. Okay, there's no coming back here. Okay, like, regardless if it's true or not true, or they got a good excuse, unfortunately, all the years that they've done to build an amazing organization, right? It's a good org. Like, serious, like, they've done so well in the FGC for the last 10 years, right? Like, so I'm saying, like, but they're fucked. This is so hard to come back from. And it all comes down to, is there no way to come back from this? Or are you just fucked? So you're telling me, like, their brand, their team, that's it. Like, they might as well switch careers.
You know what
Because
this
it's over.
reminds me of? It's kind of like with Twitter right now. Twitter's exploding, right? Everyone's just getting let go. Elon Musk is doing whatever the hell he wants, and all the people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, at this point, right, it's like half the people that is gone. So it's like, damn. Imagine all these years. And I don't want to believe that that's true. I'm not here just being like hate, 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 hate. Because again, I was part of EG. I had years with the organization. I saw them change, what, like 2-3 times? So I understand what it's like to be with an organization and then seeing something like this and everything exploding in your face, right? So it's like, damn, like Panda Global situation is just so confusing because they preach this whole, like diversity and all this stuff, they with the whole infiltration situation, they try to, actually look into it. Like I was actually believing that, damn, these guys are like as legit as it comes. And I still believe that for the most part, regardless of like one person, you know. But to me, again, the whole doubling down, the whole this and that, like, if it's not true, it's not true. You wouldn't let people come up with things if it wasn't. But my whole thing, though, all right, and I think this is the biggest question. This is the biggest question when it comes to Panda Global and Alan's decisions and all that. So you're telling me that this happened for a whole year, right? I think it was like starting from like February or something like that. They were talking about like doing
Yeah.
this for a long time. So they're hitting up all these TOs. Say, hey, work for us, work with us, don't work with them, work with us, don't work with them. They're doing all this for a whole year. Why did they actually believe that nobody was going to say anything? If it is true, because again, like, think about that. That sounds mad blasphemous. That sounds really blasphemous. Like that somebody would make up something like that. Oh, this guy was coming through and telling all these TOs not to work with us. This guy was, spreading bad things about all blah 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 blah. You're telling me they were making that up for a whole year? And again, on top of that,
Yeah,
what makes you think that not one person was going to say anything? So,
well,
if it's true, I'm speaking directly to you, Mr. Allen. What made you think that was okay?
I do think like at the start they were just probably asking the tournaments, like probably saying like, hey, I need your broadcasting rights or your videos, all these things, right? Like if you like, because we are the official tournament series of Nintendo, yada yada. I'm sure he were asking nicely, but then they probably started feeling pressure for that to provide good numbers or to provide like good metrics, for the sponsors or the potential sponsors. They need to have data in general. So to show Nintendo, like after a year, look at the numbers that we're putting up, right? So they could potentially extend or maybe get better sponsors. So they kind of felt greedy throughout that process, and they probably started like, look, oh fuck this shit, we're going ham. I'm just gonna stop being a good cop. I'm gonna be the bad cop this time, and that's how I can see it. The greed has taken over. If assuming if all these things that we read on Twitter were true, I think that's my assumption for that one. I think they just got greedy. I'm like, oh fuck this shit. We're going YOLO. I'm just gonna be like, look, y'all better stop this operation because this whole shit is mine. I think,
It's like they
what
didn't
happened?
want Evo. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, and you would know too, right? Anybody who's played Street Fighter would know. What's more important for Street Fighter, Capcom Cup or Evo? That conversation has come up so many times, and I feel like Panda did not want that conversation to happen with their tournament. Because think about it, right? Let's say there's 3 tournaments. Well, excuse me, Evo's done for, right? Evo with Smash, so I don't know what's going on with that. So now, Smash has their own Evo, the Panda Cup. And I think they wanted to be the exclusive tournament. Like, hey guys, if you play Smash, you're gonna want to join this tournament, or you're gonna want to qualify for this tournament. But now that there's a world tour, right? Think about that. That means that you have to share the spotlight with another tournament. So, of course, some people are going to be like, all right, well, I can't qualify for Panda Cup. Maybe I'll qualify for this. Or I can't qualify for the world tour. Maybe I can qualify for that. So it's like, then you get that conversation, which one's actually more important. So it's like, I feel like that's a good enough reason to want to do something like that. You don't want to share spotlight.
Yeah, makes sense. But okay, just to go back to your last statement, which one do you think is more important, Evo or Capcom Cup?
For Street Fighter specifically? Oof.
Yeah. I'm talking like the peak of Evo, okay? Peak of Evo. So let's just go back. Okay, let's say you're gonna be the 2016 or 2017 or 2018 Evo champion, or 2019, yeah. So those are the peak Evos right before Corona, or you're gonna be the Capcom Cup champion of 2019 or or 2016, 17, 18, 18, like one of those.
Oof.
Yeah. Which one would you pick?
Okay. Obviously, I play multiple games, so I because of that,
This is Street Fighter.
No, I know. So because of that, I would pick Evo. But if I was strictly a Street Fighter player and didn't care about anything else, I kind of want that freaking the Capcom Cup trophy. That trophy's OD. Like I have
Trophy everybody.
so like if you look behind me, you can see
Mm-hmm.
that I have the Evo trophy, right? So these are the
Mm-hmm.
three big things, right? Because I won the three biggest and most important things of Marvel, right?
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
won the Curly finale, right? Which was the only finale that ever happened. I won it, right? I won.
Wait. Early finale? How? What? Oh, I wasn't there, right?
No, you weren't there. I think
Wait, why was the early finale important that much?
because there was only one.
But man, I won 4 Curly mustache.
No, I know
won
that's
4
what
of them.
that's what
I
sucks.
won the both of them, and I wasn't on the finale. I don't know what happened there. Like my man, like bro, like I'm saying, like look, you won most of the tournament. I'm just saying, like early finale. I'm sorry, okay, I won 4 of those motherfuckers.
No, but that's the thing, right? Because obviously we all won one of those, right? But so there is a final trophy, right? So
Sure.
then there's the Evo one right next to it, and then next to that is the Capcom Cup one. Now the thing with the Capcom Cup one is that you can't. To me, the pressure of trying to win Evo is so high that there's too many variables. That's the thing. It's like if me and you were to enter a tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
At Capcom Cup, let's say 2 tournaments, right? Capcom Cup and Evo.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we'd have to run into 10 other people before we fought each other at Evo, right? But at Capcom Cup, we're fighting God versus God versus God versus God before we fought each other, right? There are a lot more variables when it comes to Evo and winning and or losing Evo. You know, somebody good could have lost to somebody bad, you know, and you got a free road. I've seen that happen. We've seen it happen many times in Marvel. Somebody just had a good road. Not to mention the fatigue and all that stuff. Like, not saying, of course, everyone who's won Evo through skill, because when it comes to top 8, top 16, top 32, it is really important. But when it comes to anything before that, it's actually nothing. It's really easy. Relatively easy. So, because...
No.
Because
No,
there's
Chris,
so...
sorry.
What are you talking about?
No. Okay, I disagree with that because look, check this out. We both won Evo, so I'm talking this like I'm not gonna discredit what you did. Like, okay, first of all, like what has happened through us through our career as well. Like the fact that you're entering a tournament, which is a 1,500-man tournament or more than 1,000-man tournament. Like it could be like from 1,000 to 1,800-man tournament, right? The fact that 1,800-man tournament and everybody leading up to that was training hard, and then you come out on top after all is said and done, I think the storyline of that is so amazing. Versus the Capcom Cup, which is just as hard, but it's just different. And I think both of them are just as important, in my opinion, in a way. But in the Capcom Cup, you have multiple chances to qualify. So you essentially have multiple lives. Like if I lose in the qualifier in January, I can still qualify in Feb all the way down to the very final last chance qualifier. And with that, I have a chance to be in the top 32 instantly. But I had multiple chances to get the top 32. At Evo, you only have one chance to get the top 32. That's why you have to be perfect at Evo. You don't necessarily have to be perfect at Capcom Cup. You just have to be skilled and great.
Yeah,
So
but you see the problem with that is that, again, because of the variables, like let's say okay, a whole day, right? And we've all had these days at Evo. They're not healthy. Evo tournament is not a healthy tournament. So yes, you can argue that because it's an unhealthy tournament, that when you make top 16, top 8, it feels that much better. Yes, it does. But it's also, again, not fair. When people say, "Oh, I gave it 100%," a lot of times that's actually not true. When it comes to Evo, you have to worry about eating. You have to worry about drinking. Let's say my pool. I have a 8 a.m. pool, 9 a.m. pool, 10 a.m. pool. Then I have to do whatever the hell up until 2 o'clock. Then I have to do whatever the hell up until 8 p.m. So from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., you're telling me you're at the top of your game?
Oh, Chris, like part of being great in general, especially in a very like stacked tournament, is having that mental fortitude to
You see,
actually
but
fight through that.
but that's the thing. It's not just mental at that point. It becomes a physical thing, right? Half of us don't eat. So
Yeah.
we have, like I said, we have to actually handicap ourselves. We have to force ourselves to be in a bad predicament just to do good at a tournament. That's supposed to just, you're supposed to just expect to do good. But again, there are too many variables. Ryan is saying you have to overcome that. Of course, I know we have to overcome that. But again, there's so many other reasons why somebody can just, do good or
Win,
bad.
right?
Plus, again,
Yeah.
most
Okay.
people who are at Evo are entering multiple games. So now that I think about it, you're actually not necessarily giving 100% all the time. But
Okay,
with
Chris,
Capcom Cup,
that's
you
subjective.
are giving 100% because you know you're there for a certain amount of time. You're just there to play Street Fighter, so, which means there is
True.
zero excuse. You versus the other person. There is no 20-hour difference. You're just there to play Street Fighter, which means that all the matches are going to be 100% all the time. There is no thinking about anything else. It's just, I'm here for Street Fighter. As opposed to, hey,
Okay.
if I play Marvel
Okay.
or 10 other games, or, did I eat? Does my steak work? Do I have to wait 7 hours before playing another match? Why am I waiting all day for stream? Like, why sound don't work? There's too many variables. No setup is the same at Evo. There are tens of thousands of issues.
It's okay. I agree with that, but in the same time, like
You
everybody
overcame
had
it
to
all.
deal with the same. Everybody had to deal with the same exact experience. And
Oh,
also, when you were saying like when people say you gave it your 100%, you don't feel like they're being genuine about it. I'm telling you, Chris, I prepare for the Evo grind. Like you know how hard I train. I train harder than everybody. Okay, like I would train for 16-hour days or 12-hour days with like very few food or very few drinks. And at Evo, I would sleep like at 9 p.m. so I can wake up at 5 a.m. so I can like do like a run or I can just warm up. So I can when I go to the Evo, I'm fresh. I'm fully hydrated. I got my sponsor bringing me drinks or sandwiches or anything like that. I'm super prepared mentally because half the battle on a big grind tournament with like more than 1,500 people is the actual grind of like being able to overcome all those little things in order for you to play 100%. So like I'm saying, like I understand what your point of view though. Like if there's no other like things that's gonna like I would say like in Capcom Cup, like there's no other variable, right? It's just you're just gonna go sit next to your opponent, you're gonna play, and then who's ever better that day wins. Like sure, with that aspect, fine, that's great. But like this is what makes it even more sweeter. It shows who's actually has the best mental fortitude or the best stamina in order for you to actually overcome all of that. And then at the end of the day, you still win. Like I know, but it's hard to be consistent. But that's what's the beauty about it. That's what you're the last man standing, and you smash everybody despite all the bullshit, like all the little things. Like, look, I took advantage of that aspect. I truly enjoy that. This is why we get top 8 almost every year. Like I've made sure if I'm gonna play somebody, I want to play them on a stage because when I play on a stage, I feel like I'm 100%. My opponent is not 100%. He's fucking nervous. He's worried about his mom watching him. Whatever. I love to play on the stage because I know, like he's fucking up. He's just nervous. He's gonna drop all the other things that he normally would hit. If he hits it 90% of the time, he might hit him 80% of the time.
But you know, if I'm on the stage, I love that aspect of that one. Like I'm already prepared that they're gonna drop something or they're gonna make a stupid decision, like in the stage. Like, but when I'm playing them next to them, like I'm just gonna play it normal and that's fine. But when I play on the stage, I feel like I have a huge advantage, and
Oh, for sure.
I think,
The stage definitely
yeah, you know what I'm
benefits
talking
us.
about. Yeah, like so I'm saying like in general, I do think that it's just both are okay, but both of them are just different. Like Capcom Cup, I told you, you have multiple chances to qualify, and then once you get to top 32, you actually have like 2 months to prepare for your opponent because you would know what's your road. You would know what's your road, right, for Capcom Cup based on the points. You would know exactly what's your road if you stayed on winners all the way, right? You would know exactly
Yeah.
because you know you have to beat 4 matchups and that's it, right? That's those are the things that you can control in a way. But in Evo, you can probably control the ones in your pools because you're gonna get your pools 2 days before Evo, right? And you that's not enough time to prepare for the random bullshit. So you just have to be like whoever's ever the most worst. Yeah, you don't know. What the
It's
fuck? You run into like this shit, you just die, you know?
it's that for sure. I
Yeah.
100% understand that. But then you know what is kind of funny though. If I ask you two questions, right? Then
Sure.
it would kind of the questions are obviously funny because again it's Evo, but it's more like
Go, go.
it would make you think, right? One, what if Evo was only one game at a time? So it's an open man, 1,000 man bracket, but they only, let's say, boom, focus on that 1,000 man Street Fighter. Then yeah, I would be like
Okay.
100%. But because Evo, I think Evo divides everything by like 20. There's too much
Yeah.
going on, you know. And then
That's not the problem of your opponent because you wanted to enter multiple
no,
games.
no, no.
Same
But
as
that's
me,
the
I
thing.
entered
That's the
three
thing,
games.
though. The schedule becomes stupid because of all the other games.
Oh, true.
So
True.
if you go for one game at Evo, you're gonna stay there for not only 2 whole days, but like a freaking 48-hour time span of like ridiculous scheduling. You
I
know?
love that shit. That shit gets me hyped, bro. My hands gets fucking sweaty. I love that shit, bro. That shit's what I live for. I
But
love those motherfuckers who would crack and fucking cry in the corner. You fucking bitch. You fucking can't handle this pressure, you motherfucker. Go drink there in the fucking water fountain, bitch. This is not for you, motherfucker. Like, I love that shit. You motherfucker. Go call your mom, motherfucker. Like, I love that shit. This ain't for you. This is why I'm the fucking champ. Like, you know what I mean? Go talk to your boys, hug your boys, tell them you don't feel good, take your fucking Pepto Bismol, whatever the fuck you need to do, okay? But that shit ain't helping you, okay? Because the moment we get on the stage, I'm gonna fuck you up. I love that shit, man. That's just what I live for. I live for that shit. That pressure is what brings me to fighting games, not the fucking. You know, I need my mom to bring me to sit me here to the chair. I hope everybody cheers for me. I don't give a fuck about that. I actually play my best if I have a fight with my girlfriend. I fucking love that shit. If we fucking break up the day before the tournament, I win the tournament automatically. And I fucking love that shit. You know why? Because I use that as a motivation. I use it as a motivation. That's just great. Like, I use all the negative as a motivation. I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way because I love being booed. I use that as a motivation
my
every
man,
time. So,
my,
like, so anything that there's gonna be some turbulence or some bullshit. I love that. I take all of that, man. So that's why I'm saying, like, I get what you're saying, but it's just very subjective, depending on the
and now the
person, yeah.
second question: what if
Hmm?
Evo actually ran good?
What do you mean ran good?
Like if everything was exactly how they say it's gonna be, if the stream schedule was how it's gonna be, if like I feel like a big problem with Evo is the fact that it runs like trash.
Okay. I mean, I'd be like, fuck your stream. Turn off that motherfucker. I'll still fuck him up. To me, I don't give a fuck if that shit is like that. Like, I'm just saying me, okay? I'm not like this is not for everybody. This is just how I'm wired. All right, I don't care if you fucking broadcast this shit with your cell phone. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna fuck him up too. Like, bring Team Spooky. Okay, you want Team Spooky sitting next to you? Okay, go. Like, that's okay with me. Like, I'm just saying, like, I agree with you, like everything else. I'm just saying I am wired differently. I love all of the fucking, all these little things. Like, I don't care about the schedule.
Champ
I don't
said,
care about the schedule.
Champ said if he has a bad day, he'll do better.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree with that.
I want to get fired
Look,
before Evo, yo. I'm trying to.
What was that? What was that tournament? Like, there was like a drama, I believe, in like Northwest Majors, and it was like, what's the name of that T-Hawk player from Japan? And we had a language barrier to do a money match.
Koji Kog?
And yeah, some drama happened with that one. But then it was a misunderstanding. But then it was eventually resolved. Our Kappa made it seem like I was trying to like scam this guy for $20. What the fuck? Why would I ever do that?
Oh yeah,
but
that was a big
match.
thing for no reason. Literally no reason.
But then it's a money match. It's a $20. You put the $20 there on the table, right? You know. But then, obviously in Japan, they don't do money matches. But then I played money matches with Japanese players all the time. But see, all that drama leading up to that, you know what happened? I won the tournament. I did so good with all the other games. I was great. Like, you know what I mean? I love the drama. You know, if some people the thing is, if people are too nice, everything was smooth and well, I think I play worse. I need some sort of like drama leading up to it. I need people to shit on me. I need some motivation. I need something to motivate me.
You see, but the thing is that for me personally, it's like I said, I love drama too. I love getting worked up. But the problem is that's different than, let's say again, like you waiting to play because things are messing up. You know, like for me, I love seeing like hell break loose. I think it's great. And it keeps me awake, right? It keeps you alert. It makes you want to play better because all hell's breaking loose. But again, like that's different than something just don't work. You can't hear the left side of the screen. The freaking there's no, there's so many things that it makes me not want to play. As opposed to playing better or worse, it just demotivates the person. You know, it's like, hey, like some people pay hundreds of dollars. Thousands of dollars to get to this place, and you want it to be like, sorry, your stick don't work on this setup. The screen is completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like that's completely different. If I get evicted and I have to go to a tournament tomorrow, I might win all the tournaments because I got to find a new home. You know what I'm saying? But
I think that's a good segue in a way. But like, look, let me tell you a backstory. The Nemo match, it was like all the total with the side bets with Japan, side bets with Nemo, side bets with Lapchi in Canada, side bets with the people in the crowd. The overall total bet that I put up there was about like 11,000. Okay. But the total bet in general was around 15,000. My overall bet was 11,000 with Nemo, right? But with Nemo only bet 3,000. But all the people that was a doubter was 8,000. So, but in that one, if I would have lost that one, because I don't get paid yet with my sponsor until 10 days after that event. So that means I would have literally $100 on my name if I would have lost that for me to survive for the next 10 days. But that shit was I said, no, we gotta go all in. Don't worry. I was everybody, my friend Aaron was saying, are you sure you're gonna do this? Bro, I'm not gonna lose this shit. This is gonna motivate me. I love that shit, bro. I love that shit. I was like, no, this is gonna motivate me. If I could even go negative, I would. I just love that aspect. Okay, check this out. This is not to take away to when I lost. This is not an excuse, but when I lost to Nemo, me and you at Evo, right? We lost for money. We had so much money during that fucking entire week. We had just so much money winning different things, fucking winning all the other money matches, winning in roulette, all the fucking thing. We had just so much fucking money in our pockets.
I'm just so relaxed. We got destroyed.
Oh yeah, for sure. What I definitely that's why
Okay.
that's why I said I was like, yo, that's what I told you. I was like, there's no way I'm winning that. And you're like, nah, yo, you Chris G, you got this. You about to win Evo and blah blah blah. And I'm like, dog, I can't win this right now. And like we just have money.
Yeah.
And we literally like instead of
Yeah,
actually
so much
thinking smart, you know, I was just like, you know what? Whatever, man. If I lose $3,000 right now, who cares?
Look, okay. This is why I love the Marvel 3 community so much, because they basically sponsored me so much in every event during that time. But that was the last year, 2013 was, we have a whole salty suite, and I will have a setup there. And in order for you to like, there's no casuals. Everything is money match. But until somebody gets me off the setup, they have no choice but to play me for money. So it was minimum $20. Bro, do you understand?
The God,
I'm
yo.
not forcing them. I told them, this is a money match room. So if you're here to just bullshit around, like, you can't be here. It has to be a money match room. You pick whoever you want to play. I'm not telling them they have to play me, but whoever's in the setup, you got to play them, or you wait to a different setup that's open, or you wait for me until I lose. Motherfucker, that $20, 3 out of 5, bro, I swear to God, I made thousands of dollars in that one. And mind you, that was from Wednesday to Sunday. Remember that fucking thing, Chris? Oh my God, the Wednesday to Sunday, bro, I made thousands of fucking dollars in that shit. That shit's so great. I mean, the money matches is just too good. I mean, now there's no more money matches because everybody is just a bunch of pussies, right?
But for sure.
You know.
And now, you know
Yeah,
what? You know what? I feel like this is I mean, we kind of went through the first topic, but that brings up the second topic right now. Boom! Broke FGC. So I think the segue is amazing, right? But now the reason why this is a topic is not because of the actualities, the factualities that the FGC is broke. I mean, we've been saying this for how long? We've been saying this, FChamp?
Sure.
Since we came into the scene. But now somebody, right, by the name of SMG Princess wrote, the FGC is broke as F. I swear y'all never subscribe or donate to fighting game streamers. We ain't never going to grow.
Okay.
Who
Well,
do you want to start this one?
Okay. So, she didn't really lie about that. If you're talking like FGC in general, yes, I agree. Unfortunately, but sure, there's gonna be a few outliers, maybe like 10% or maybe 5% of the community is making really good money. But in general, it's really bad, right? Because FGC is very top heavy. So unless you're like the top 10 or top 5 best player, or unless you're like the top 10, top 5 content creator or streamer, that's the only time you really make money, right? Like, unfortunately. Like me, luckily in my FGC career, I felt like I was always been very blessed, in a way. Like, so I don't think that applies to me. But in the same time, I can see how, like, if you're like any other player, that can see how like they're all struggling, to make anything out of their fighting game career, just because like FGC is not like a normal esport game, because in esports they play online all the time, and when you qualify in the online qualifier, they basically pay for all your travels, right? So you don't necessarily need a sponsor to compete to be one of the best. But the FGC, every month, sometimes twice a month, there's a tournament that you have to really pay for. And then when you go to a tournament, you spend like minimum $500, minimum. Imagine every single person out there paid $500 to be in that tournament, like, to pay for their ticket, their hotel, their food, their registration, which is like $100, so all the other miscellaneous stuff. So like, I can see how that's quite expensive, right? And there's not much support. So yeah, I agree. Like, FGC is not doing well when it comes to the financials. And that's why I don't recommend it to, if you're going to be a pro, and it's the only thing you're going to do, unless you're like Chris G or top of the food chain kind of guy, don't do it, man. Keep your job. You have a have a plan B. The thing is, though, if you have a plan B, it's hard to be great as well. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, but you need to find a way to somehow balance it, to have like at least like some sort of support. Like if you have a part-time job, you know, that pays really well, and then at least, and then you can do play games. Like you're gonna be one of the best, but you're not gonna be the best most of the time because number one, you're fighting against guys like, let's say you gotta fight against me who doesn't have to do anything else but to play and stream because everything was paid for already. Like my life was basically sponsored already. Like so, how are you gonna compete against that? Like, like how are you gonna fight against like a Sonic Fox or a Chrissy or Justin Wong who's just completely sponsored, like from top to bottom? It's quite hard, right? To do
Oh, for
that.
sure.
Like, sure, you're gonna beat them sometimes. You're gonna beat them sometimes, but most of the time, you might not even make it to the top 8 just to fight them again. You could be very talented, fine, but you're still not popular and nobody gives a fuck about you. So you're still not gonna get sponsored until you win a few strings of tournaments. So it's really difficult for somebody to make it. And unfortunately, it is what it is. And I've given that advice to a lot of people who wants to be a pro, and said it's really not that, you know, it's not that good because there's a lot of pros out there who just takes the shittiest fucking deal. They probably get paid like $1,000 or $2,000 a month, and that's just shit. How are you gonna survive life with that?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not possible. You know, like, um, what like shout outs to my previous sponsors, man. They fucking took care of me. And also some of the sponsors out there, just to put them on blast, some of them are just bad contracts. Can you think about that? Like they're paying the players like maybe $1,000 or 500 or 800, whatever the fuck it is. And if the player wins the tournament, they take a percentage of their winnings, like 30%, 40%, or 50%, right? It was just shitty as fuck. Like all the best deals out there are basically like something that pays you like 5,000 and plus, and then doesn't take anything from your winnings and supports you and pays you for everything else. You know,
Yeah.
I'm really really lucky that I never had to deal with that because on the okay, think about this just for perspective. I was a rookie player in 2010, right? 2009, 2010, rookie player, and I got sponsored the same time as Justin Wong, and Justin Wong has won 6 or 7 Evos that time. I got sponsored the same time, so the timing has been amazing for me. Like so, ever since from that point on and moving forward, I just been sponsored the whole time. So it's not fair for most people, but I'm saying like in general, it's a bad deal. This is a bad deal.
I think what's really weird is that there's always a new winner, right? And it seems that that especially nowadays, there's a new winner all the time. Oh, some person won this online tournament. Some person won this online tournament. You know, tournaments we've never heard of, right? It's not like it's like next level or Wednesday night fights or the run back or any of those other tournaments, even the Florida tournaments or anything like that, right? There's no like main thing. But another thing is that these tournaments don't pay. Not to mention,
oh my god,
like there's so many things that actually you're not making any money. Everything that these top players are doing, quote unquote top players, that's why we don't call them pro players because they're definitely not. They're top players, right? They could be sponsored by blah blah blah. Obviously, not getting anything. But the thing is that a lot of people want to keep saying that they're pro and they're doing this and this is their life, but they're actually not winning or earning any money. So, right, if I mention a top player, I'm not going to name names, but odds are they can't eat dinner with us. So why is it that a top player cannot eat dinner with us? Because everything they win nothing gives you money. Not to mention, back then, and Champ, you definitely know, in 2012, 2013, we were making good money winning tournaments. I actually would go to now Big E tournaments. They pay out like, I don't know, like $500. Cool, I guess, whatever. But back then, when I won a Big E tournament, I would get like $2K. 10 years ago.
Yeah, that shit was insane.
So,
but that's just okay. like back then, like from like 2010 all the way into 2016, right? That's a pretty good like timeline. Like when we were entering tournaments, we were so bad, Chris. Like we're just counting. Yo, can you check how many people entered this tournament? And I'm like, yeah,
Is
I
there a
think
pop
this is how
bonus?
many. And it's like, oh, like pop bonus. Okay, so okay, Chris, this is how much you're gonna win. Okay, if you win the tournament, this is what you're gonna get. If I win, this is what you're gonna get. Okay, I think Street Fighter they probably have like $800 extra, so I think they should go try and win that too. Like, so I'm saying like, well, mind you, we did this 3 times a month. So we would go to tournaments 3 times. Doesn't matter which part of the world it is, which state it is. We will go to tournament 3 times a month. So we would leave on a Wednesday, or we would leave on a Friday or a Thursday, right? Fly, go to that event, land there Friday night, right? Friday night you land, and then Saturday you do the tournament. Sunday you finish the tournament, you get paid. Then you leave Monday morning, then you fly back home, unpack, pack, wash your clothes, I guess, whatever, and then pack and then practice for a day or two, and then repeat the same
Yup.
shit. We did that shit for fucking 5 to 6 years, bro. So I'm saying like the fact that we made a money during those times, I felt like that was earned.
Oh,
We
for
didn't rob
sure.
anybody. We won with skill. I'm saying that nowadays there's not a lot of tournaments out there, and also the prize pool didn't really change much.
Oh, they got
Think
way
about
worse. I don't remember the
they
last
got
time.
way worse.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw a tournament with a pop bonus. But you know what I just thought of, right? So I remember
Yeah.
it was ECT. ECT I made like what was it, like $4,000. It was the most money I've ever held in my life. This was like
Sure, sure.
2011. 2011, 2012. I
Uh-huh.
forgot which year. $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what do I do with this? This is too much money. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
seen this, right?
yeah.
10 years ago. Sonic Fox won, what was it, $1,400 for Skullgirls Evo 2022?
That's insane.
That,
Yeah,
remember our exhibition? We made more money than half of the people that won Evo.
yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, exhibitions alone pay so much more than actual tournament. Like I'm saying, like when I fought Nemo, I was paid $3,000 just to play, win or lose, and then obviously all the money, all the side bets on top of that. Like there's so much more that you make on exhibitions. It's actually really good. But then I'm saying like in general, I didn't feel any growth. I felt like we've regressed. We've regressed throughout the years. I mean, maybe you can say COVID did that, or and also the games did that because they didn't really they didn't really get better. I felt like the games got worse when it comes to viewership. It's harder to watch, or there's not a lot of care for most of the viewers. Do you remember when you were playing the big two? Okay, remember that when their viewership was fucking around like 8,000 to 15,000 every
Yeah, and
Wednesday or Tuesday? I
I was
forgot.
making more
In New
than
York.
$200 just for the local.
No,
Just
you were making more. What are you talking
no,
about?
obviously that was just like I'm talking about like for one game. So we were getting like
Oh
two
yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah,
two $300 just one game,
yeah,
and there was like
yeah.
two three
That shit's
games.
crazy.
So it's
Yeah,
like
that shit was crazy. Not to mention the weeklies. Remember, like when I went to New York, I randomly won that tournament, the big two there, or the whatever. I forgot the name of the tournament during that time, but with our with Team Spooky, and it was like me, you, Marlon, Pyre in that tournament in the Marvel 3 tournament, and I won the tournament, and I remember I won like $350 for a fucking weekly. And when we go to when you go to NorCal, we went when you were here in NorCal, we were playing. We won so many weeklies here as well, and our weeklies here was kind of insane. We have the most weeklies out of any region, right? You know that, Chris.
yeah,
Like we
I
had a
remember
weekly on
joining and
Tuesday.
I was like, yo, why is there like
It's
so many
insane.
weeklies in just the state of California? Like,
Like the NorCal scene was crazy. But during that time, we had a weekly from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday if there was a no major. Like that is insane. And mind you, I didn't have any job. My job was I was sponsored player, I was a streamer, and that's my side job. And sometimes I don't enter the tournament because I don't want to kill the scene, and I just go there to help people to improve. Yeah, I
Now,
had to mentor them to improve. But like that's just insane. But it actually is all dead now. There's no such thing as that anymore, bro.
so
Like
yeah,
I don't know what happened.
I think
Yeah.
now, right? So going back to the statement, right? The FGC broke as F. I swear y'all never subscribe or donate to fighting game streamers. Now,
That's true.
now that we've talked, right? About what happened literally 10 years ago, right? Obviously, we haven't seen growth. We haven't seen any pop bonuses. Nothing is happening at all. Online tournaments. But what I find crazy, right, is that a lot of people, right, they talk about being big and the new greatness and all this stuff. But again, how are you supposed to subscribe and all that stuff when there's even more people? That's the worst part. Before we were realistic, right? Back then, if you sucked, you had a job. You were trying to get better, you were grinding, but you at least had like a part-time job or something, so that it can help fund what you do. You always need funds for what you do.
Yeah.
It seems that in 2022, and somebody's poisoning these children's minds, and in a lot of these cases, these grown men and women, their minds are poisoned. That they actually believe that, like, even if they win, what does winning do? Winning does nothing anymore. Winning doesn't get you paid. And since winning doesn't get you paid, then you're not a pro. You can't even subscribe if you wanted to. And you're what she's talking about. Like,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm talking about? Like, so you're the next great thing, but you don't got $5 to sub? Oof.
Yeah, that's true though. That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I don't know, man. Where's that job, yo? Like,
we ain't like okay. Even if the Street Fighter 6 happens, I think the golden age of fighting games are just done. I don't think we'll ever go back to that. I don't think there will be like 5 weeklies a week now. Like I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think like a weekly it would have 15,000 viewers on Wednesday Night Fights, 15,000 on on Spooky anymore streaming Marvel 3 or Street Fighter 4. I don't think it's gonna be like that anymore. Like unfortunately, so like how do you go back to that time? Like this kind of impossible, Like everybody thought it was gonna be Street Fighter 5 and MVCI, and shit, that shit was the exact opposite. But even though as much as I would try to support it, it just didn't happen. So like
you know what I've noticed?
That part is done.
What I've noticed is that, right? So Jabril just wrote, with online, there are even more weeklies. Think about it. How many streamers are there now? How many TOs?
And nobody gives a fuck about that.
How many TOs are there now? How many top players? How many pros are there? So there's a ridiculous amount of everything. And then there was a comment that I read. I couldn't believe my eyes, my ears. I wanted to throw myself out this window. I couldn't believe. You want to know the comment? You ready for this comment?
What?
My man's, I forgot who it was. I forgot his name. But he said, I like entering tournaments with nothing on the line.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
He's
so
like...
that guy's straight up pussy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I just can't.
But you know what, though? Is that so many people have that mindset where they're like, oh, we won $20 staying at home. I don't get what's the problem. You know what the problem is? Is that if we went on the street right now and asked people, if we were a bum, homeless, if we went on the streets right now and begged for money, we would make more money than 10 online tournaments.
Okay, like, also, I guess it's not fair that I call them extra softy or pussy, whatever. Because, like, okay, some people got different goals in a way. So, like, some people, like, let's say, you, for instance, your goal is to not play, or you want to win.
They're not
like,
realistic.
Some of those people, their goal is to just play and have fun and showcase what they practice in training mode, a cool combo. So these people, that's their goal. Like, okay, Chris, I have so many students at one point. Now I probably have 4 students that I teach fighting games, and when I do that, I'm asking what's their goal realistically, and their goal is some of them, I just want to get out of pools, or I just want to beat my brother, or I just want to do good in my local, right, or something like that. Like they're not goals like, okay, champ, I want to win Capcom Cup or I want to win this tournament. No, so okay, so I guess it's relative on their goals on what they wanted to do with fighting games. But if you're
Hold on.
telling me
Quick
they're
question.
aspiring pro, if they're aspiring pro and that's their results, that's their thinking, then obviously I would discourage them from being a pro.
Also, hold on. A quick question though. With those students, one,
Yeah.
how old are they? And two, do they have a job?
Yeah, all of them have a job. Their age is between from 22 all the way up to 34. They are paying $75 an hour too. So in order for them to afford that, that's quite a lot, right?
So they're realistic. They have the money to support the means, the goal, the objective. Even if they want to make it out of pools, that means that she's not talking about them because they actually sub. You see what I'm saying? Like those guys, they're more realistic. But there are too many people out there right now that are trying to be pro something. They're trying to be a pro, FGC player. They're trying to be a pro YouTuber. They're trying to be a pro Instagram model, OnlyFans, all this stuff. No one's actually thinking about what, in order to do any of that, unless you're living with your parents, like, come on, let's be real here. Like, you're teaching people. You're teaching people who have money. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, that's my second passion. I always wanted to teach people how to play fighting games better. Okay, I love doing that, I swear. And I'm not just doing that for the money. I would have done it way less too. The only reason why I had to increase it because I had a substantial amount of people wanted to sign up, and I couldn't do that. And before, when I had 20 plus students, I couldn't give them 100% because one, when I'm teaching them, I have to create a profile on how they think as an individual, as a person. When they write and I create a profile on how they think, how they are as an individual, then I'm gonna go proceed on how to teach them how to improve their thought process in the game. Like in general, like that's really my passion. Like I love teaching people how to be like. I'm saying like if I can figure out a way to in order to teach the masses, I would. Because like me, I'm confident enough that I'm very comfortable. Like if I say I'm not gonna play fighting games anymore for the rest of my life, I'll be comfortable enough in my own skin saying like, yeah, I've probably done basically damn near almost everything. It's like so I'm okay with that, but I kind of want to see the level of play to get higher. And I don't know. I know for sure that's not gonna improve the FGC quality of life anymore, anyways, because I don't think anybody can do anything about it, right? It's just dead. Back then, bro, look at that. Like whatever we're doing. There's so much more personality in the FGC. On top of that, there's streams that has so much viewership, and then there's majors every week that continues that storyline. On top of that, we have amazing content creators that's like Micross, Dutex, the cross counter, all this other shit. Like so, there's like then you got Japan, then we got other personalities from different regions like. You got B from Canada, you got KBR from, Chile, and then you got like obviously guys from Puerto Rico, then you got like guys from the East and the West, then you got guys from the South as well, like Jan, fucking Flocker, then and so on. And then we also got guys from Japan. So there's so many different personalities and stuff. So that's why there's a lot of care. People actually give a fuck to watch because there's a good storyline. Nowadays, there's actually no storyline. There's no build up. There's nothing. So I don't think any one person can build that up.
I've noticed that like if you since there's no rivalries and stuff, betting has become just 3 times worse. Like imagine putting money on someone anymore. You're just like. What are we even watching? Who are we watching? Who's playing? Who's doing what? Like nobody actually cares. There's no you can't set up an exhibition. An exhibition between who? Between what and why? Since you're not even doing East versus West anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Me versus you. Yeah. Justin Wong versus Flocker. All this stuff. It's like you could be like, damn, like I can't wait to see that. Because again, we all had different play styles. We all, like there was so.
We're like, who the fuck is gonna beat Chris G this fucking tournament, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Is
Like,
Justin gonna do it, or fucking actually gonna do it? Motherfucking this fucking bitch, stupid fucking soulfist motherfucker had to add Virgil.
you see, but that's the thing.
But
We
then
could say all
after
that.
that, we all hate how Chris G played. But you know what, guys? At the end of the tournament, guess who you see Chris G having dinner with? Having dinner with me and Justin. We're still having talking. Like, so it's just like there's none of that anymore, man.
Actually, you speaking of that, right? Like when I go to a tournament nowadays and I win or lose or whatever, there is like I feel like there's even less to do. Like I don't know, like people just aren't cool. Just personalities are just so dry and you don't know if you could like actually chill with somebody and you're like, dog, like none of this is like these people, what is happening here? Like damn, like there used to be crews and everyone had their own thing and everyone was so different. But we could join up like at a place and in time and actually like enjoy everything for what it is. Like nowadays, I feel like everyone's miserable. Like everyone's just like, oh man, that was my last dollar. Oh man, like I'll hit up people, be like, yo, you want to eat? And oh no, what? What's going on? Like
they're like that.
Like everybody's just so depressed. And like I said, like there's less money. Speaking of the thing again, there's less money. So like people will win tournaments and they still can't afford to buy anything, buy food. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sucks. That sucks. Oh man, like, do you remember that, Chris? When we're like, I would just randomly hit you up for in a tournament. Yo, let's go to the fucking 8th floor. There's a money match room there. We'll just fucking go there and wreck those motherfuckers. We go there.
Yeah, there was something to do.
People would actually go play us, even for like $10, $20. But we didn't go there essentially just to fucking take their entire money. We go there because there's competition, and we're not taking against bums. We're taking against like a top 30 players, top 20 players. We'll go there and beat those motherfuckers for the whole night. That shit was so great. And then you know what? And you know what's so crazy? I did that before. Like my this is my best hustle for so long. I did this year from like 2012 to 2014. This all the way leading up before Street Fighter 5. My best hustle was I was with Sherry. And I would go to a Street Fighter room because now they're gonna look at me. Oh, FChamp is a Marvel player. It's like, yep, that's good. I would go there and I'll be like, hey, anybody want to play Street Fighter 4 2-on-2 money match? It's me and Sherry Jennings. And we will go there and then everybody will just say yes. Oh my god, that was the best hustle. Like I'm telling you, we made so much money during that time. That shit was so great. Like because everybody thought we're just like we're not good. Like it was just so good. And mind you, even though we made a lot of money during those times, it wasn't just about the money. It was the feeling that I whooped that ass.
Yeah, like I feel like people don't even care about winning anymore because it's like there's so much abundance. Like if you win a random tournament, I mentioned this in my article about like drama and the FGC and stuff with the whole Waka Flocka and Lupe and all that dumb stuff. I was like,
oh my god.
I feel like there was a point where you could, and you should always be able to feel good for winning something. But it's like, they made it so that if there's 20 tournaments in a day, and you win a tournament, and like, let's say there was like one good player or whatever, like, no one cares. No one cares because you're one winner of 30. You're one of 30 winners for the day. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds?
I mean, what are you expecting? Like seriously, what are you expecting? Like you want to be celebrated because you won?
Yeah,
what's your expectation?
Like everyone's trying to, like I said, everyone's trying to be the next big thing, but like you're one of 30 for the day. Like what? Like you?
No. What's your expectations? What do you want? What did you want from that win?
Oh, to like because obviously this is like when you win something, it's personal, right? If I win a tournament, like I actually feel like damn, like People watched.
You're the
People
best.
cared. I made
Yeah.
money.
Oh,
I
you mean
showed
that.
my skill.
Okay.
You know, there's so many
Mhm.
variables that make you feel better. Because then again, think about it,
Oh,
right?
I
Let's say you were doing something, and one, nobody cared. Two, you made no money. Three, no one
Okay.
watched.
Okay.
Would you feel inclined to keep on doing that over and over and
No,
over?
for sure not. You need to have some sort of reward system, right, for yourself to continue practicing hard. But like what you're saying, like to me, is like back like during the times like we were playing a lot. Um, we were also playing a game that was very relevant, if not the number one game or the number two game in the entire fighting game community. So now you're comparing that with the games that you're playing. They're not number one or number two. So your expectations should somehow change a little bit. Because like let's say you win DVFC, right? In a tournament. You shouldn't expect the same news or care from people because number one, I mean there's three things. Number one, your fan base didn't come from just FG from the DBFZ guys. It came from the Capcom fan base. So those people didn't really have a crossover in number. They don't really care about that game. Number two, the game that you're playing is not number one or number two in the entire FGC. So you're not going to get a lot of praises or reward if you want to call it. Number three, it's just since there is not a lot of crossover, the viewership, the people that watch that, there's not much weight into that performance, regardless if your performance was immaculate or amazing. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is, right? You don't have a lot of crossovers with your fan base. So
Oh no,
that's
no,
what
I
sucks
wasn't.
about it.
I wasn't talking about me. I was just saying in general. You know, it's like like I said, like people want this to be their thing, right? But again, like sponsors aren't gonna sponsor you if there's no visibility, right? Back
Sure,
then,
that's number one.
back then when me and you won things, we won in our respective coasts for starters, and everyone was tuned into that. Because there's 1,000 tournaments and everyone's figuring out what to watch and what to do and all this stuff, there's just less and less and less viewership just based off of what you're doing, right? What the person themselves is doing, what game they're playing. Since there's now 1,000 games and 100 tournaments for each game a week. 1,000 games and 100 tournaments a week. What is there to watch? Who's going to be paying attention?
Yeah, there's no story. Yeah, there's no more story, unfortunately. Yeah.
You know, so like,
I mean, like,
then there's like
nothing we
20
can do,
people,
bro.
20 people watching a tournament. It's like, I understand that everybody wants to be a TO and give people like a platform to play, which of course, you know, they could do whatever they want. But at the same time, again, nothing will ever be taken too seriously if there's not an official thing happening. You know, kind of like, you know, for the weekends, right? What's going on? Boom, this and that. All right, well, I know I need to tune into this and that, right? Monday should be for watching this and that. Tuesday should be for watching this and that. You know, there is no actual day a week to watch a certain thing. Even Wednesday night fights, it's 2 days? You think I'm watching Street Fighter for 2 days? Who came up with that? Who came up with that? Who runs Wednesday night fights? Who came up with that? They're silly.
It's just done. We can't really. There's not much we can do. Like, even a new game comes out, there's really nothing. Like right now, everything is separated between what game they like. So unlike before, okay? Do you remember before when during Marvel 3 era, like other people that played other games like Smash or you know all the other anime games or Street Fighter, they watch Marvel 3, right? And then the Marvel 3 guys, they also watch Smash. I watch Smash as well. I watch fucking Street Fighter, right? I'm saying like so there's a lot of crossovers, so the community is more united and there's more care. Now, since every schedule is all over the place, is so super oversaturated now the market, we don't know what the fuck is going on. So now if you only like Marvel, you only really pay attention to Marvel and so on. Street Fighter only plays Street Fighter and so on. So that's why the impact or the weight of what you do is so much more less, right? Obviously, unless you're like Punk or like Punk or IDOM, you're like the number one, number two player in the country or top five in the world in Street Fighter, which is the number one game for the Capcom side, which is huge. I mean, it has some weight to it. Like in general, like sure, that's some weight, but like I'm saying, like in general, that's it. Unfortunately, that's just how what happened now in the community. It's not organized enough. And that's why I appreciate before Spooky what Spooky did, man. Like call it how you want to call it in general. Like, but man, my man did some work, man. He's like a big pillar in the FGC, bro. What he did, the East Coast, bro. I'm sure he got rewarded for it.
Damn, I miss Spooky.
Yeah,
damn,
what
I
Spooky
like.
did was amazing in Arturo. I can't even hate on like there. I mean, there's no version of me hating on that man. What that man did for the FGC was insane. And then you got the West Coast guys. The West Coast guys is like Valle, the Wednesday night fights, and the NorCal guys, which is like myself, Eduardo, Shady K, and all the tournaments that we host here. But I'm saying like we're very active, so that's all collectively have worked together for the same goal. Now there's not a lot of that, Like,
I think another
you
thing
don't see that anymore.
Now that we're mentioning names, it's like there is no leader for things. Like because it's like I said, right? There's so many TOs now. There's so many commentators. There's so many this. There's so many that. Again, that is good, but when there are too many, it becomes a problem. So it's like, who is going to be the next big TO? Who is going to be the next big commentator, the next big streamer? And then, as someone just said, right, watching a bunch of people at the same exact place. Now you're not really. There is no place. Like there is no bunch of people gathered together. You're not watching high talent all the time. Now everybody's just like, why am I entering that? Why would I want to? And there's literally no reason. There's no viewers. There's no anything. So now it's like the top players have become just regular streamers. Half the people, they're like some of these guys, they still might have the skills, but now that I think about it, a lot of them you don't even see at a tournament anymore. Because again, it's not really worth it because no one's actually stepping up to the plate to be like, yo, you want to play Marvel? Here, right now, today, everyone's gonna need to do this. Tomorrow Street Fighter, I'm showing up $1,000. Boom. Like that's the thing. Like you need to get people to care. Now no one cares. That's the biggest issue. Forget the fact that the FGC is broke. Is that it's harder to care. It's harder to invest. Like, oh yeah.
I mean, like also the online. I mean, there's too many online events, and online events hold very, like, less weight than offline events. So I mean, granted, it's because of COVID. So, people can't play optimal playing offline. So also when you play online, it's somehow region-ish locked, right? Like you don't get to see, like say, like right now, if I wanted to see, let's say Ray versus Jabril offline, I won't be able to watch that
until like 2 years from now.
And then if I watch it online, like that kind of like scratches the itch of me wanting to watch them. But though the level of play is gonna be significantly low because they have to do with lag, so it's kind of sucks, right? So that aspect of it I hate because like there's not a lot of build up. Like, oh my god, I can't wait. Dre Ray's dominating on his side. Jabril dominating on his side. Just using it for example, and then I can't wait for the next offline event, let's say a TNS offline event. And then when that happens, everybody's looking forward for that clash. And when it does happen, oh my god, yes, it finally happened. There's hype. But now you don't get to have that anticipation anymore because they get to play online, and when you play online, they're somewhat nerfed. They're not 100%, and yeah, there's not much anticipation build up for a show because ultimately the spectator is basically the most important aspect of it, right? Because the more spectators out there, the more it matters, the more there's things to talk about, the more, the fans basically is the one that's driving the community. So without them, you can't really do much about the game or whatever game they're playing. It doesn't matter, you know. So there's no. I don't think. I think we're locked. I don't think we can ever get to the point that we want the FGC to be, except for maybe Project L. But when Project L happens, it's only gonna be Project L. So that means all of us have to be conscious enough to all of us transitioning towards that game, get that game alone only. So all of us would care, and that would have some weight to it.
Yeah.
If people don't transition, then it's not gonna be that important. But though naturally, there's gonna be people care about it because that's a new fan base, right? From the right side, it's gonna be new fans. So that's gonna be great. So I think that's the only game that matters moving forward. I just don't know when is that coming. I think it's coming in 2024 now. That should have been 2019. They've been in production since 2015. Think about that. It's been 7 years to 8 years now, and the game is still not out yet.
Yeah.
That means they're trying to perfect that. You know.
Let us hope that Street Fighter 6 at least, you know, gets us motivated enough. You know, like and it's weird to say because I used to kind of dislike it. You know, like that Street Fighter's just the main game and all the other games don't matter, right? We used to have that mindset, right? Like even at some point, you know, Marvel was getting less entrances and whatnot, but Street Fighter still mattered, right? Like obviously we always have that thought where it sucks, but at this point, Street Fighter 6 needs to come out. Like a game needs to just be that important again. Like there needs to be like a hierarchy system. Like we need to be like, yo, Street Fighter is the game to play, and if you're not playing, who cares? Like, don't even talk about being sponsored. Don't talk about anything. No one cares. Like, I want to tell people that. I want to be like, yo, what game you play? I don't care. All right? I play Street Fighter 6. All right? I don't care. I'm worth more money. All right? Now pay me more money. I'm waiting for that day. Oh, Project L? Oh, you want to play Dungeon Fighters over Project L? Nope. How about wanting no money? How about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that needs to happen. It, like
basically,
we need to be more realistic. Like, yo, this is the game to play. If you're not playing it, who cares? Now, this is the thing. This is why I realized that I was good at what I do in the community, and I knew I was gonna make it, was because I played everything, but I also played Street Fighter. So I was good enough to make top 8s at tournaments. I was the only American in 2012 in Capcom Cup. You know, yeah, I got 0-2, but I had one of the greatest sets of all time in Street Fighter. One of the most watched sets in Street Fighter of all time.
You did great. You did great in that one, bro. You did great in that tournament. I thought you were gonna beat Sako too.
I know. Damn it. But you see, that's the thing. As much as I want to say, damn it, why don't people pay attention to Melty Blood? Why don't people pay attention to DBFZ? I mean, yeah, that would be great and all if you also played Street Fighter. So it's like now you can be sponsored for something. You could get top 16.
I usually have a different mindset with my approach for those. So I don't think about the money aspect. I think about what I'm passionate about. Hopefully, if I'm passionate about the game that's number 1 or number 2 when it comes to popularity or relevance in the fighting game community, money will just flow. Because usually the way I am wired, I don't think about the money. The money will just happen organically if I'm passionate enough. If I put my heart and soul into this game, I play, I stream, I put some character into my craft, money just happens. It just flows. The thing is, like, now, even if I choose a game, it's not gonna be the case, you know. But that's usually my approach in general with fighting games. Hopefully, the next fighting game is worth that for my passion or my time, you know.
Yeah, and
the same as the previous game we played.
That's why I'm looking forward to Street Fighter 6. Like, honestly, it's because I actually liked what I was playing. Like, like now that the game is gonna come out and it's gonna be that important, and sponsors gonna look at the scene again. Like Street Fighter 6 is going to be important. Why? Because when these
Yeah, for
sponsors,
sure.
when everybody comes in and finally takes another look, because right now no one's looking at the FGC, right? With this
Oh yeah, that's fact.
with this Panda Global stuff and all this stuff, all hell breaking loose, freaking all these allegations against all these people and whatnot. There's too much drama, not enough importance. And again, Street Fighter 5 is on its way out, right? So we're on this weird floaty island where we're like, oh, who knows what to watch, who knows what to do, who knows what to
It's
play.
over.
So now Street Fighter 6 comes out. Boom! People are now, at least for a while, we have a couple of years minimum, of paying attention to the scene again. Sponsors are going to be like, damn, we need Street Fighter players. We need all this other stuff, right? So it's like, now it's like you might actually see an increase in other games at tournaments because you can just play Street Fighter but enter these other games. So if you are a DBFZ player and you play Street Fighter 6 and you're good at Street Fighter 6, you could be good, get top 16s, get top 8s, whatever the hell, and be able to win your respective game. And that's a win-win everywhere. But it's like, again, like at this point, you're not going to see any money if you keep playing these other games when Street Fighter 6 comes out, when when Tekken 8 comes out. You know, like when Project L comes out. Like you need to start managing the time right. Like this is going to be what is important. And who knows, maybe there might actually be pop bonuses again. Right? Cuz everyone's going to want people to go to the tournaments when it comes, especially when Street Fighter 6 comes out. Yo, enter this, enter that, enter that. Like, I'm not going to care. Well, I will care, obviously, of entering online tournaments because we're going to have to. But it's going to give some importance, again, to offline tournaments. You know, like, yes, like a sponsor's going to want to actually fly someone out to enter so-and-so. You know, go to Florida, enter CEO. Go to Chicago, enter Combo Breaker. You know, like, now freaking, you know, other tournaments that aren't that big, regionals and stuff like that, become more important. So it's like that's what I'm hoping for, at least. You know, but who knows, maybe this dry spell could last, seep all over to Street Fighter 6. But for the most part, I am hopeful, and I think it's because there's nothing left. There's nothing else. So it's like, you kind of have to be hopeful at this point. And I feel like everybody has. It's like a spirit bomb. We need to spirit bomb like these games. We need to give these new games our energy. All right, nobody wants to play any of this other stuff. Melty Blood, sorry. Friggin' DNF, I'm sorry. All these other games, like that's it. Let's spirit bomb our energy into some important games and freaking let's all have a good time. God damn it.
I think with me, I'm gonna play Street Fighter 6 for a year. Hopefully that aligns with. I mean, I know Street Fighter 6 comes out like May or June, right? Let's just say, or maybe early summer, whatever. And after a year of that, it's gonna be Project L timeline, right? Based on 2024, because 2030, 2024. So I think I'm gonna play Street Fighter 6 hardcore for 1 year, and then I'm sure I'm gonna win a few tournaments that matters and place a lot. After that, I will just transition 100% on Project L and play that for a year. And after that, I'll probably just do coaching. Like, I don't really want to play that as much anymore after that. I think I'm done with it. I just want to see the next generation prosper, bro. That's what I love.
I do find it funny though that like we're still one of the best, and we're just like, right? We're in our 30s, right? Sako's 40s, all that good stuff, and it's like,
oh yeah,
these guys are winning, you know.
Well, I don't think there's Asian fighting games though. The thing is, it's never been proven yet because, I mean, I'm not sure if my theory was that or my statement was true as well, but because it's such a small sample size. Because like, granted, like, okay, the first generation of, let's say, first pro gamers, let's just say, it's like Daigo, let's say Taco, you know, those are the oldies guys, right? Like they're like 40 something already, 44, 45, 46, 40, you know, and they're still winning and they're still placing really well, right? And then, you know, you got the next generation, which is like Justin, Ricky, etc. Then the third generation is like me, you, Eduardo, right? That's our batch, right? right? That's our batch, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Like me, you, Eduardo, etc. Like I'm saying, like those people, like I don't think that. I think you lose. I think you do lose some reaction time, but you make up for it in experience. So you get to process more information, and then you kind of make up for it. But I'm saying, like, I don't know what's the age when you just fucking massively decline, assuming your training regimen is the same exact way, right? Like I'm saying, like, if you're playing the same exact way, the only thing you're changing is your age, then that's the only time you can probably determine, right? Like what's the age that you get worse? Because I
I've
don't
thought
believe
about
people
that.
get worse.
I definitely thought about that. It's like the day I'll quit fighting games is the day somebody jumps at me 100 times and I can't anti-air. Like that's the day I quit. Like I know it's my time is done. Where my hands just my brain and my hands just don't. Yeah, like that. I always wonder because like people be like, oh, the next generation of people, but I'm like, the next generation is me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I am the next generation. The next generation of FGC when Street Fighter 6 comes out and I'm mopping everybody. You know what I'm saying? like that's the next generation.
It can ever be that bad. I just don't think you can ever be that bad. I think
we have to
some
wait.
people they blame on their age as an excuse.
Yeah,
because you just can't. Like I understand, like if you have a kid and you have a wife and you have a full-time job, for instance, and now you're in your 40s, let's say, then you can use that as an excuse that you're old, that's why you can't win anymore, or you can't place, or you can't play as well as you used to. But you also, the circumstances are a lot different. You have more responsibility, so you're putting less time to practice.
Yeah, life happened. That's a huge different thing, right? Yeah. Like I want to know, like, if Sako turns 50, can he win a tournament? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's it. Like when Daigo and Justin and me and you go in our 50s, because obviously 40 is too young now. So obviously
I probably won't play, bro. I'm done, man. I'm just gonna fucking be in the beach, like sipping pina coladas and just chilling, dude.
Yeah,
just,
I'm
you
not
say
that.
Play that long.
You say that, and then guess what? Guess what, though? You say that, and you're gonna be in your 50s, and some random 20-year-old, Jabril's grandson, Jabril's grandson. Imagine that, freaking saying you whack. And then you gotta teach him. You gotta teach him something. You know what I'm saying?
That's important. Like if you started off, that motherfucker's talking shit. Then be coming back, baby, just to shut him out. Like okay.
You see, but you see how you're saying that? You're saying you're gonna be retired. You're gonna be retired, but you're gonna go to that tournament and you're gonna whip out that $1,000 and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, what you saying, little kid?
Oh, that would be so good.
Cause I can see me doing that, right? Like if I ever like retire, right, and I got good money and I'm just chilling, I'm thinking, what should I do with my life, right? And you know what? Yo, this guy won't shut the hell up. Like $500. I'll get the plane ticket and the hotel. Yeah, I'm about to mop up some people in, Street Fighter Cross goddamn Melty Blood Part 4. Like, I'm going to be in there slapping somebody up. We might not be, like, tournament winners, but I feel like at some point, like, somebody gives us, like, $10K to do an exhibition, and we just, like, show up.
I can never accept that we might not be tournament winners. I don't know about that. Like, I always feel that we're always in the cusp of winning a tournament. It doesn't matter what it is. You enter, we always have a chance of winning. Like, okay, this is how it is. Like, if I'm playing a game, like, hardcore, if I enter the game, if I win a tournament and people were like, oh yeah, FChamp won a tournament, and there wasn't much surprise, that's a normal reaction. But if there's a surprise like, oh my god, this person won a tournament, that's like, like a new cat. That's a news. Like, okay, for instance, when KBR beat me and he won that tournament, that was a fucking news, bro. Because that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay?
That definitely was not supposed to happen.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, but it happened and it was great for the news. and I lost that fair and square, mind you. I lost that fair and square, and I'm never gonna. And actually, if I can go back in time, if you'd ask me, champ, if there's any loss that you can like change, what would that be? That would not be the KBR one, because look, he's been my bitch for 10 years, and he deserves to get one. So I'm gonna live with that. That's okay. So I would try to get back the Justin Wong's fucking Team Super, baby. That's the one that I'm gonna get back. That's the first one.
I mean, I got a few. I got a few. The Raw tag against you, oof. That one was pretty rough. The drop combo against the RF
that
one.
wasn't a drop combo. That wasn't a drop combo. That was a jump S, and the goddamn feather was late by 1 frame on the hit. And my homeboy Justin, which was my training partner at that time, was mashing Team Super on hit. It wasn't on block. It was on hit. Bro.
I mean, dog. Like, what else was he supposed to do?
Yeah, but that should be your immediate reaction.
I'm mashing for sure. I already lost.
That wasn't your immediate reaction. The first one, let's say you get jumped in on, you're mashing a DP while you're getting hit. That's the same equivalent of that.
Yeah.
That's what's so strange about it. How he did that.
But that's also like
great.
That's also like Spencer players in general, right? Like they don't care what's happening on the field. They might just
like look. Justin Wong is not a Spencer player. He is Justin Wong. So this is weird, like to me, you know?
It's weird.
I
was waiting for that the whole time.
That after. I easily accepted that right after too, because it was Justin. If there's anybody gonna do that, if you did that to me or Justin, I was like, oh, I accept that. That's why I hugged him immediately. Congrats, right? I hugged him immediately. Congrats. Like to me, it was such an easy way for me to accept that. Imagine if like a random player did that to me, I might be fucked mentally for like the next 2 months. But the fact that Justin did that to me, that's okay. I can live with that. It's okay. You know, it was such an easy way for me to accept that. You know.
For sure. Oof. Damn,
like great.
It's crazy how we could like talk about like. It is funny because we talk about it like it's like the golden era, the good old times, you know, all that good stuff. But it's like, I want to look forward to the future. You ever think about that? Like for all you guys who's been in the scene for a while, you know, and this was for us back then too, right? Like me, Champ, Justin, and them, we were actually looking forward to the future. Like, damn, when's the next tournament? When's the next this? When's the next that? Like that was our mindset. Now it's like it's just question mark everywhere. Like when it comes to the FGC, it's just a giant question mark. Literally up until, you know, Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 come out, everything's a giant question mark. And it sucks. It sucks that it has to be that way. But like, you know, like if the biggest news is like somebody saying that the FGC is broke, damn, you know the FGC is struggling. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I wonder what's gonna happen to all the players leaving Panda though. Like, okay, you gotta also look at that happen to Panda.
Oh yeah. We were supposed to talk about that, and then the Capcom Cup thing happened.
Like the Panda Global, right? Okay, the fact that when all these players were resigning on Twitter like 2 days ago, they say I'm resigning from Panda Global. I was just like looking at that. I was like, no, you can't resign from Panda Global. You can't do that. Like you're bound in the contract. Though sure you can resign and say like I'm done. I'm gonna retire. You can say that as part of your contract, but you can't enter anymore. You can't sign with any other org anymore until the duration of that, right? Like I'm saying, like so you shouldn't essentially retire or quit or resign. Like because like Panda Global still has to like terminate your contract in general or allow you to basically quit, right? Yeah. So I was like, so to me it's like, man, that's irrelevant unless Panda Global like allowed that to happen, because you can say I'm quitting Panda Global and I'm announcing my free agency. You can't do that because everybody else in the contract in the esports would have been doing that already to begin with. So that's not, you shouldn't be able to do that. Okay, so now Panda Global basically announced that they're gonna allow all the players or help players to transitioning from resigning in their contract. So it was like, to me, it's like, oh my god. So who are going to be left in the
Hold on,
company?
quick question though, real quick. You
Yeah.
see how that all that's happening?
Mm.
Why would all that happen if it wasn't true?
I think they just don't wanna. I mean, regardless if it's true or not true, the
I'm just talking
negativity
crap. I was just talking crap.
no, for sure. I'm saying, like, imagine, like, also this sucks too. Let's say you are a top 10 player only. You're not Punk, and then that happens. Like, are you supposed to leave, or like you're not supposed to leave because that's your livelihood, that's your job. So now you have to leave. You're leaving in a time when there's no pro tour that's open. Everything is already being qualified, and it's so hard to find a sponsor. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna stick it out, but if you stick it out, you get hit publicly with the, whatever backlash it comes along with it. So it's like, what do you do now? Like, you can't really quit, but if you quit, like, so it's such a weird time to be a pro player under that banner at all. Like, and also, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? Are they gonna sell their team? Are they gonna sell? Like, because they made one mistake in the last 10 years. Come on, like, I'm not defending them. I'm just saying they made one mistake in the last 10 years. Now they have to completely disband the team. Everybody left them. It sucks, right? It sucks now. Now think about that on our end. Like, you as a pro, you can't make one mistake or else you're fucked for the rest of your life. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I do think
Like,
that's interesting. Like, obviously, we're called the God. This podcast is called the Gods Canceled. All right. Obviously, we've been through some stuff, right? I know what it feels
yeah.
like to get destroyed, right, publicly, and then have nothing, right? Because there's nothing waiting,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's no
Yeah.
sponsors, there's no this, there was no tournaments. COVID had just started,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, like we could
Mm-hmm.
be realistic and negative as much as we want, but also we do have sympathy. You know, like Panda Global's been around for a long time, and they've been doing a lot of good, right? And all these players, they've been around for a long time. A lot of them we know for years, over 10 years as well. They're on Panda. You know, so it's like I've been seeing on comments people being like, "Oh, you're gonna stay with Panda after everything," and I'm like, "After what?" Let's say someone's paying me money, right? I'm getting paid $3,000-$4,000. You know, mind you, right? As much as I don't really care about Panda like that, like they're paying players, and there's not even like that many tournaments to go to. So it's like their obligations are just pretty much make videos and stuff, right? So it's like a lot of these players they're getting treated really well, you know, for years. And it's like, so one guy, especially if it's one guy, like that's the craziest thing too. It's one guy that does bad, and not only do we have to destroy the whole organization, we have to destroy the players if they choose to be freaking part of that organization still. It's like, what? That's ridiculous to me. You know, like, what about all the other people, right? Let's say David, right, has nothing to do with what happened. Do I believe that? No. But let's say, devil's advocate, you know, we have to play both sides. We have to think realistically, you know. Let's say he had nothing to do with it, right? So he runs Panda, right? It's like, don't you think that, you know, like they deserve another chance? Don't you think that the players still deserve, you know, what they've been getting? So what you're telling me, yeah, so what you're telling me is that not only do you want everyone to just say F Panda, you want the players to be broke again. That's just, I don't get, yo, the court of public freaking opinion is insane. You want everyone to lose money? Every person?
Like, look, this is the thing, right? I mean, obviously we know based on what we've read online on Twitter, which is kind of sounds stupid already, that let's say that it seems it's more likely that it's true than it's fabricated, right? It's more likely. though we don't know for sure, but it's more likely that all that we've read is true, right? With a few underlying few things. But okay, let's just say that. That's it. Let's just say now it doesn't matter if it's true or not true, as long as the general consensus of the public thinks it's true, then they're gonna get punished as if every allegation, every accusation was true. Unfortunately, that's just how it is nowadays. It's just like if Twitter decides if you're guilty or not. That's what sucks about it. Like it don't matter when you did it. It doesn't matter if you did it in 1947. You did it back then. You're fucked now.
I mean,
Like
I would know. We would know. You see,
what
we're telling you
sucks
this
about
because we
that.
know.
That's so bad. That's just so bad. It's just so hard. Like it should. What happened to you was like you did it like what after 5 years. I mean, like
Nope. I did it.
5 years.
I did it yesterday. I did it tomorrow. I did it next week. I did it when my next sponsor. When I get that, I did that again. You know, it's like the craziest thing is that yes, this happened so many years ago at this point, but
I mean,
people will pretend
imagine-
it just happened yesterday.
Do you know what happened to me? How I got quote unquote banned in Capcom? Because I only got banned in Capcom, nothing else. Do you know what happened specifically?
No, I think the world would like to know.
Oh, okay. Like obviously, I tweeted about the watermelon lives matter in a very sensitive time, and I think it's quite stupid, and it's very bad, and I definitely regret that. Though I was I was trying to be funny about how we are gonna demolish the watermelon in the house because we bought a giant watermelon in the market and we were so excited to destroy this fucker and we were just so excited to eat it. Mind you, this is not an excuse and this is not me to but like so I tweeted about that. The person who came up with that idea was CJ's son. Okay, CJ's son. Obviously, as everybody knows, CJ's son is African American. CJ's African American. I live in a house and there's 4 African Americans in the house. And I was talking to them about it and they were just laughing about it. But obviously, when I tweeted it out, I got destroyed. I understand I don't have that pass because oh my God, Ryan's best friend is black, so he can say that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I did that after the fact. And it was still okay. But then Capcom decided to do that because number one, all the guys back then, my pool with Capcom was iron fucking clad. Your boy was Superman. Let me tell you, back then nobody was fucking with me because number one, Capcom was my neighbor before. Capcom was my neighbor. I was good. I was in the good. Okay, Capcom, like they were my neighbor. They were like really behind. Like when I was living in San Mateo. Capcom was in San Mateo. I used to hang out with Seth Killian. I used to hang out with like all the testers that was there, and then Seth Killian became Combo Fiend. Obviously, no, Combo Fiend comes over to my house. We chill, we drink, we play games. We were playing. We were just hanging out. All the Capcom staff was there. Like Nidell, which is like I Play Winner, who was doing the stream for the entire Capcom. I was cool with him. I was going to his house. I was cool with literally every single Capcom employee. Like I was partying with like the stakeholders of Capcom. We would go to bars and stuff. We were drinking. I was partying with them. We were cool. Okay, there was a huge shift. Then became John D, which is even more cooler, and it was just so nice. I'm just so tight with Capcom guys. Okay, then there was a shift that happened. Like everybody in Capcom got changed. Literally from the top to bottom, literally everybody. Ono-san left, the CEO. John D was gone. All the QAs were gone. Obviously, Combo Fiend was gone. Literally every single person was the esports director was gone. Every single person that was cool was gone. Now you was replaced with people that might have or may have like any sort of vendetta, personal vendetta with me, and that's what happened to me. And I can only blame myself for this, but that's what happened. Obviously, right now as you resolve, it's great, but now I'm okay to play, but I didn't want to play because since they tweeted that I can't play for a year during that time, I told them that I ain't playing unless you guys tweet that I can play. So that's where we're at. We're on that stance. Nope, I ain't playing unless you guys tweet publicly. We are FChamp is eligible to compete for the for the for the Capcom whatever the fuck it is. Mind you, there was a drama with Evo and Capcom, so Capcom did that. Evo didn't ban me whatsoever. Evo didn't care, like about banning me or not, but Evo cared my actions was bad for the public for that time. So I didn't get banned at Evo or other tournaments internationally. I only got banned at some CPT events, which is not a lot of them. Okay, and then that's what happened with me. And then after 3 weeks of that to a month, then the whole Mr. Wizard happened. Well, guess what? There goes my Evo protection services. Like so the Evo thing happened and Mr. Wizard got canceled for something that he did, and I don't know all the details about that situation, but that's what happened. And yeah, so that's where we at. We're in a stance at my ban. I'm not banned. I would just choose not to play until it's been announced publicly that I'm
Yeah, it's actually interesting that people think that we're banned still, but you mentioned the direction changing, right? When it came to me getting canceled again for the 5th time or whatever the hell, when Nicole became the CEO of Evil Geniuses, what's funny too, right? Besides the fact that I got bodied, freaking fired instantly, and all that, right?
Yeah.
Was that like nobody had my back, right? Nobody defended me. Nobody was like, yo, like this is messed up. Why? Because I found out that a lot of people also got let go. So it seems that as soon as she took over, that there was already problems, you know? And like what's really weird too is that after the fact, and this was recently too, like a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, whatever the hell, is that I had like 2 of them hit me up. 2 of them who were high up there in EG. And they actually apologized. And they were like, that was messed up. You didn't deserve that. And I was like, in my head, like obviously it felt good to hear that, you know, because again, like they were high up, but they had no power or no authority over somebody who's just like, F this guy in particular. But what's crazier too is it's like, damn, you let me suffer and you hit me up in 2022.
Yeah. What happened to you was bad because they could have made that way better for you. It's like, say, if I was EG and then I was given the news that I have to let go of Chris G, okay, I wouldn't let you go that way. I will let you go to potentially negotiate, let go of you quietly.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
find let go of you that way because that's destroying your livelihood. So that sucks. They destroyed your livelihood, which sucks, right?
It is super weird too, right? Because like they're like even in the case right now, right, with Panda Global, right, they're trying to do things professionally. It's so weird that like like in certain cases, yeah, it just nothing is professional, and damn, like with the whole Panda situation, like, do we want to just eliminate them? Like, just
I want them to survive.
Yeah, exactly. Like
for most people, I want Panda to survive because they've been nothing but amazing to me personally. But in the same time, they made one mistake, and that one mistake is towards the Smash community. So I don't see why they should get canceled with the other communities as well. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm saying, like they made a mistake in Smash community trying to monopolize the other events. Let's just say it that way. Let's make it easy. But how about the other players in the other communities? Like, are they also have to suffer that way as well? Like, so this is, to me, it's that, that's just my stance on it.
Damn. So. Yeah, I'm seeing people getting harassed left and right, and I'm just like, what in the hell? Why? Like, why is everyone going so ham? Let people be human. If they decide they want to do something, if they decide they want to stay, leave, whatever, it's weird. But I mean, we're still waiting, for some more nonsense. Hopefully, you see, this is the thing. I'm really, really looking forward to what Alan writes. This is gonna be funny as hell because I don't think he's going to deny. I feel like he's gonna say that there's truth in it. But what I really want to see, since this is the show God's canceled, I want to see somebody else suffer. I'm trying to see some dirt. I want to see Alan pull out some receipts and just be like, oh yeah, you want to know who else is a scumbag? Yeah, don't work with them. You know, like that's actually what I want to see. I want to see somebody else bad just go straight to hell. He gonna be like, it wasn't only me. Ha ha.
Imagine. That would be insane. I guess we can talk about the other potential things in the future that we can talk about in the next episode. But god damn, Chris, if this random drama ever comes out, that I could say the FGC is done. If this comes out, I swear. Okay, this is why I kept my mouth shut about it. This has nothing to do with me and you, by the way. This is just what me and Chris knows. But I'm saying, but if that news ever comes out, FGC is done. I swear. And this is not like, yeah, it's just bad. Oh my god! And you guys thought this Panda thing was bad. This is bad. FGC is GG after this one. Whew. But we just can't ever talk about that yet. And maybe in the future, but god damn if the people found out about this one. It's just GG.
Bring Alan on? Oh, for sure. What?
Right? It's destruction, right? Like, there's no recovery from that.
The thing is that,
I don't think how you recover from that.
What's really weird is that, like, there are a lot of scumbags in general. You know, like, this is life, right? It doesn't have to do with the FGC, right? There's a lot of scumbags in general. But, like, there's always, like, a certain level, right? Like a threshold where you're like, all right, this is bad. Like, with Mr. Wizard, that was bad. Like, I knew he was bad. Like, I knew he was, like, level, like, 1 through 9 bad. I didn't know he was double digits, like, oh, snap. Like, what is going on bad? You know? No, I didn't know it was like that. Like I said, I knew Mr. Wizard was a scumbag.
I didn't know that too.
I knew Mr. Wizard was the worst of the worst. And I always called him out. I hated him because he was the worst of the worst. But, you know, I didn't think that the whole...
I didn't know. Okay, this is the thing. My experience with Mr. Wizard was actually good. Okay, Mr. Wizard, let me just tell you, okay? That's your experience with Mr. Wizard. I'm telling you my experience with Mr. Wizard. Mr. Wizard has been nothing but nice to me right from the gate. Okay, so I'm just speaking. I don't condone what he did. Okay, allegedly, I don't know if they actually have any proof to that, but I'm just saying I don't condone that. I'm obviously against to any sort of whatever you want to call that, you know. But it's like Mr. Wizard is so cool, and he shows a lot of favoritism to some people. And fortunately, I was one of the people that, like, benefited from that in a certain way. Like, look, for instance, like this. Evo, I forgot to register because I was managing so many players in my house. We were all playing in training session for, like, you know how I train, like, fucking hours. I forgot to register randomly. And so I'm going to go to, mind you, there was a hard rule that you can't, if you didn't register, you're fucked, right? You remember that, Chris?
Yeah. I remember when that became a thing, and I was like, wait, I wasn't registering for any tournament ever.
I didn't register. What the fuck? So, like, I told Mr. Wizard, like, I didn't register for Evo because I was busy training, and that's the absolute truth. Like, you could see my stream. I was training for Evo, but I wasn't registered for Evo. Isn't that stupid? Mind you, I was sponsored, so it's not about money part too as well, because everything should be covered. But during this time, my sponsor should have registered me, but I think they just assumed that I was registered too. So there was like a communication problem. But fucking Mr. Wizard, like, he told me, like, look, registration is closed, but what you do, when you go to Vegas, you just go to the registration. I will be there and just slide me that 100. Slide me that 100. And I already put in a bracket. I was like, okay. This is like, I go there. I skip the line of the people trying to get their badges. I skip the line. Okay, I just walk all the way there next to him. It's like, hey, Mr. Wizard, how are you? And then I hug, whatever. And then I slip the 100 to him. He takes it, kind of like we're like doing a drug deal or whatever. And then he puts it in his pocket. And then he hands me my badge. And then I walked out like nothing happened. But this happened, I swear. I mean, obviously, this is not cheating or anything like that. I'm just sharing you what my experience with him. He was cool as hell to me, man. He didn't do anything like sexual or anything like that towards me. He didn't say anything like anything bad on the appropriate. Like, I don't know. He didn't really do anything bad. Like, he was just being cool. He
That's
did a
actually
fucking hookup.
OD.
We did a homie hookup. Okay, that's a homie hookup. So how can I say anything bad to that person? Like, my homeboy was cool the entire time to me. Like, it's like, mind you, I have to do with Mr. Wizard every single year. I go to Evo, never had any problem. That like he did say something bad, like when I was talking so much shit. Down the stage, right? I was there with the people side betting. I said, "Kill this fucking bitch! He's free! Oh my god, this is gonna be free money!" And then I'm exchanging money with other people doing side bets, in the front. Like, he just told me, yo, keep that shit down, away from the cameras. He didn't tell me to stop. He told me keep that transaction that I'm doing, the side betting. He didn't say no gambling in this section. Nope. He didn't stop me from gambling. He told me keep that away from the camera.
I mean,
so
damn.
he's like, oh shit, we're good to go, baby. So I'm just saying, like, he's been cool to me the entire time. So I'm not gonna talk shit to him at all, because he's been chill to me. He did a homie hookup. He did that. He's been chill to me the entire time. So I only know him, or I know of him through that experience that I've had with him. That's it. Nothing else. I don't know him before Street Fighter 4 time. I didn't know him at all, which most people do know. And some of the allegations that he got, or are from the Street Fighter, the Super Turbo era, right? Like in the arcades. That's where he got those things apparently.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like with him.
Yeah.
I just knew that, like, that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys always had your elitism in general, right? West Coast versus East Coast.
Yeah.
That was a thing. That was a real thing. And what's crazy is that Mr. Wizard was the Evo runner, but he was West Coast, so he hated us with a passion. And obviously, me and Mr. Wizard had our own beef at the time, and it's like, dog, that was just like. You know how they say, like, double negative turns to positive? No, it just got worse.
Oh my god.
It was just worse.
I have another story that you guys might hate.
It was just the worst. Like, you want to talk about the champ getting a hookup? I got the opposite of that. I got the short end of the stick.
I got another one, though it didn't really benefit me, but it did calm me down.
Okay. First of all, just to give you some context, my Evo run when I won, I had one of the best runs of all Evos based on a number of entrants. So this, only me and Infiltration had this, which basically not losing a game all the way to top 8. Okay, during that time, Marvel 3 was 2 out of 3 even, right? 2012. Okay, whatever. But then 2013 happened. This is what happened. Like, they announced that Marvel 3 was gonna be 2 out of 3. Correct? Do you remember this, Chris?
That was too funny.
Do you remember this?
Yeah,
Chris?
I definitely do. That was ridiculous.
Okay. Marvel 3 was 2 out of 3. So that was announced. But then, mind you, the pools was divided into the morning and afternoon pools. So my friends, I believe it was Chris Schmidt. I don't know if it's Neo's there or CJ. I don't know if any of those, but I know 2 out of those 3 were the morning pools. The morning pools of Marvel 3 for the day 1 were all 2 out of 3.
I could just
Okay.
imagine how scary that. I would have
Everybody-
been crying.
I mean, that didn't matter. That didn't matter with me because I did it with or without that. But that helps because it calms me down because you're more. It's not as stressful, mind you. Wait, what are you? Are you morning pool or afternoon pool in 2013?
No, that was one of the only pools where I was right after the 2 out of 3. I think.
Wait, are you?
It became
So
3.
you got there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it had just changed.
Okay, so that was supposed the afternoon pool supposed to start. So it's like from 8 to 2. No, from 8 to 1, I think. 8 to 1. No, 8 to 2. Then from no, I don't know exactly, but it's that. I don't know what pool am I. Let's just say I'm 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. is my pool, and then the first pool was like the morning pool is from 8 to 1. Afternoon pool is from 2 to 7. Usually that's how it works, right? So my pool was around 2, I think, or something like that, or maybe 1 even. I'm not entirely sure about this entire story, but this is exactly what happened. I show up in my pool. I have the expectations going to be 2 out of 3. Mind you, I'm the number 1 seed. So my pool is basically a bunch of freebies. I'm talking like I can be texting my girl or CJ or fucking Neo or Hyro, Ricky, and I'll probably still come out on winners with no effort. Okay, so it's like there's no top players in my pool. Okay, it's like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
So I go to my pool, and Mr. Wizard was there, and I said, he made an announcement that the afternoon pool or something is gonna be 3 out of 5 now. I was like, what? That's not fair. I'm still gonna pay 2 out of 3, and then he looked at my pool. No, you're also gonna be 3 out of 5. I was like, really? It's like, yeah. So he made my pool, my man, 3 out of 5, bro. So, mind you, I didn't need that aspect, but it helped. Okay, it helped in that 2013 time. Okay,
Dog.
like so, but then overall that's fair because the tournament should be 3 out of 5 because if half the competitors are 3 out of 5, right? Don't you feel like 100% should be 3 out of 5? You know what I'm saying? It should be 100%. If half is 2 out of 3 and the other half is 3 out of 5, that's not fair to begin with in 2013. That's not fair. It should be everybody should have to deal with the same rule, right? So I, for some reason, didn't have to do with a 2 out of 3. It just became 3 out of 5 as well. But the other 55% of the people or something, or yeah, basically, or the morning shift, whatever, they had to do with a 2 out of 3. And some of them got eliminated in the process, which sucks.
Dog.
Some of them got random out. So I'm just saying that happened, and that sucks for most people.
But it didn't suck for you.
That didn't really matter, Chris.
No, obviously you were gonna make it, but
I always kill it in pools, and mind you, I held the record of not losing a game in pools. Mind you, there was nobody relevant in my pool. I'm just saying, but sure, that's besides the point. I'm just saying that, like, there's 2 things. Number 1, I may have gotten preferential treatment for that time, okay? Number 2 is that I felt that the entire tournament was compromised already. The fact that it wasn't the same rule with everybody else. So that's where I'm getting it. So it should be, they should have canceled the whole thing, like the full half of the morning pool, and they should have redid it because being 3 out of 5 and 2 out of 3 is totally different mindset. Right?
definitely, I'm terrified in 2 out of 3.
I played Phoenix, so it don't matter. 2 out of 3, that's even better, baby. Like, you know, that's even better. Like you're just fucked. Like, I'm just saying, like, so what I mean is that tournament was compromised already. The integrity of the tournament was not fair for everybody, for every competitor during that time. And that was like, what, 1,500 people who entered that? Imagine 750 people had to do with the bullshit 2 out of 3. Meanwhile, the other half didn't have to. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that didn't really, yeah. That just sucks, right? But that happened.
But that's why you think when we were talking earlier, I was like, yo, like Evo is janky.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously, like
Yeah.
the idea behind being the best through all the jank, that is an awesome feeling. That's 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a feeling that can top that. There is no feeling being like, yeah, yo, I went through 3 days of this. I went through 3 days. 3 days of dealing with this garbage. Like, and I'm the best, like nobody can actually say anything, right? Like nobody can say anything because all hell broke loose. But you know who can say anything? The people who lost because of the jank.
Yes. Those people that had to suffer, like look at what Neo's saying. Some people like were playing a 2 out of 3, then they found the news that it became 3 out of 5. Like think about that. That's fucked up. And all the people that lost in 2 out of 3, they ran into the landmines in losers bracket as well. So I'm just saying, so that's fucked up for a lot of people. I'm just saying the integrity of the entire tournament was fucked already. They had to do a redo.
Yo, if you went 0-2, if you went down 2 games and won 3-2, that has to be like the biggest slap in the face at that point.
Yeah, for
being
sure.
Being down 0-2.
Yeah.
And then especially like for me, like in the case where let's say if I was playing a whole pool of 2 out of 3, do you know how scary it is to play Morgan and have her die in the first game? Because most of the time when I play people, a lot of times I lose the first game. Because I have to get my hands ready and I have to understand a person's mindset while I'm playing Morgan, right? I'm running away, and people. If literally someone said ready, go, and my Morgan gets clipped in a 2 out of 3, oh boy, that's
it's
it.
not like Magneto.
My mind's gone.
Sure, I can run away enough to the point that I can start figuring out what my opponent is trying to do, right? Based on the start. So Magneto has more leeway in a 2 out of 3, in my opinion. Like on 0 as well. But like that's so good. Like also not to mention I have Phoenix. So making it 2 out of 3 or 1 game, that's all really good. Like long sets, 3 out of 5. My team is very, very, very solid in that way. Like I know you play Morgan, but like I'm saying, like you might have to. You need to have a starter, right? Your start is so important, right? Like are you gonna super jump at the start of the match, call assist, and then fly to get out to get the
exactly. Like what's the game plan?
Are you gonna up back? Are you gonna up back first, then throw 1 sword fist, then backdash, unfly, throw 1 fireball on the ground, then cancel 2? Yeah. So I understand your point of view because you don't know how risky your opponent is gonna be in the first 5 seconds of the match.
Yeah. Or so Captain America's gonna go shield super and then that's it.
Yeah. I don't know that.
I don't know if they're gonna play like that.
Yeah,
2 out of 3
matters a lot, especially with your team. Yeah, for sure. You don't know, this fucker might just do bionic arm or just do shockwave X Factor. You know what I'm saying? You don't know in the 2 out of 3. Like you just don't know that 2 out of 3. But like I'm saying, like you have to deal with that as Morgan. Like Magneto don't have to deal with that as much. He gets to understand what the fuck is happening before he decides if he wants to play.
Yeah.
So it's that's the advantage of playing Magneto in tournament. It's so stable.
That's why I've always
bad matchup.
That's why I've always liked watching like Magneto play because no match is the same. You don't know if he's gonna go in or go out. Like the beginning of a match, Magneto could just be like, "F you" or "Nah, you're not hitting me." That's always cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I just always opt to I'm just out. Let's figure this out full screen, okay? After that, let's establish what are you trying to do, and then we're gonna go from there. Yeah, that's like the best way to play those things. Yeah, it's like okay, we need to actually. So this is our first episode. We need to figure out what's our talking points for next week. So maybe we can ask the people what do they think they should talk about.
I mean, they mentioned before that if we could get like people on the show. I mean, I'm gonna be real. If I could get like Alan or somebody on the show, you already know I definitely would. I'd have a whole goddamn sheet of questions, right? I think it would also be kind of funny because again, I have no ill will towards somebody, so I'm not gonna be like, "Yo, why are you such a scumbag?" Like I'm not like that. Why? Because I don't care. All right, I don't care enough to be like, yeah, oh boy, this doctor is the worst person on the planet. The hell, I'm a grown man. But what I will do if I did get someone like him is ask some real questions. Like I said, I'm pretty good at playing devil's advocate, you know? As much as I have feelings towards one way or another, I can definitely be like, all right, you know what? I can see where you're coming at. Screw you, though, but I can see where you're coming at.
Huh. I wasn't like, I think that's a good idea. Like, to me, though, like, if I were to interview them, I wouldn't sound that engaged. Because, number one, it has nothing to do with our version of the community. Because it has something to do with the Smash community, which I totally respect, but that community, it doesn't really affect our community. They're kind of like, we're like relatives, you know, they're like our brother. The Smash community and FGC, they're like our brother.
Get infiltration.
So are your brother? Yeah, like, so so to me, I won't be as engaged because I would not know the ins and outs of that. I would not know the actual details. If they start mentioning certain people within their Smash community that I would not have much idea or recollection of who they are. So
that definitely makes sense.
Right, like at least from my perspective, yeah. But
yeah, because I know the Smash scene, right? I know the players. You know, I've watched the tournaments. So yeah, it definitely makes sense on my end. But you know, like I said, just questions, freaking, you know, see what's going on, see if anything is true or not. Have their side of the story. That's another thing too, right? Is that like for this, what I want to happen, you know, is I want people to, especially if they're not like a true scumbag. Like if Mr. Wizard was here, right? I'd be like, I'm not trying to interview you, right? You know, that's a big difference. But like, you know, freaking, if like low tier God ever wanted to jump on, freaking, you know, or like other people where people are like, oh, watch out, you don't know if you want them. I'm like, okay, if they blow up on my stream, that's perfectly fine, right? Like, you can say you tried. But I want people, you know, to have a voice. Freaking, you know, PR Rob, Apology Man, Low Tier God.
Low Tier God, people still hate on Low Tier God. Has he been doing anything crazy lately?
I mean,
I don't hate on Low Tier God.
He's ham. I like.
Because Low Tier God, he's playing a character, bro. He's not like that in real life. I met him in real life, bro. He's mad, chill, and cool as hell. Like, so I'm saying he's playing a super extreme character. Like, his persona is to the extreme. Like, but I'm saying like that's his Stitch, right? That's the character he's playing.
I would definitely get
not against him. I'm not against him or with him, but I'm saying like when I met that person, he was mad cool and chill as hell.
Yeah,
super chill.
He's very chill. He's very chill.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You met the person, right? But on stream, he's hella ham. Like, I don't even recognize him. Like, but like when I met him in real life, he's mad chill. We talked about content, yada yada. Like for like a brief, like a few sentences, I guess we talked about. I thought like maybe he should like scale it back down a little bit less ham. That's just my opinion, but you know that's your brand, so I'm not gonna say like you do that. But that's just my opinion. Nope, he just tripled down on that one, on the ham part, you know. And
yeah, like now. This is the thing, though. I think I would warn people if you want to join, if you want to go on this podcast. I'm going to talk about dirt. Like, if you want, like, you would have to be willing to hear some questions, all right? Like, if you're going to be like, oh, I'm not going to be, like, freaking talking, like, to Johnny Depp or anything, right? Where it's like, oh, you're paying me to do this or whatever the hell. Like, no. You're going to be a regular person. I'll be like, look, I want to know your side of the stuff. I want to know what's going on in your head. I want to know if you feel apologetic. You know, like that type of stuff. That's what I want to be. You know, so like, if freaking, nice. like if Low Tier God jumps on, I'm gonna ask him some real questions. Be like, yo, all right,
wait.
Like, why you said those comments? Boom, like stuff like that. You know.
We should interview. We should interview some people. There's many tournaments that we've won that didn't pay us. That's what we should be interviewing.
What is it? The devastation people? The
Devastation. Dude, how about the Revelations? The motherfucker owes me 15K, bro.
freaking the beach.
I am owed 15K by Revelations, man. 15K, bro. I'm owed 15K by Revelations. I won Street Fighter. I won Marvel. I got 15 Cross Tekken, bro.
Oh
Like,
man.
that shit was crazy. Like, the homeboy hasn't paid. I need my money back.
No, but
And
you
also, how about the beach?
the beach is funny. Now Ace's return. That's the thing. If let's say I got what was his name? Reynaldo, something like that. Ronaldo. If I actually had him on the interview, because I heard some stuff went down. I heard some real stuff went down. So I feel like when it comes to that, that would be really cool. DMG, if somebody brought up DMG, I'll be like, yo, let me get boy Jason here. I'll be like, yo, let me know what happened. What happened with DMG? Right? Freaking, I want to know, like, yo, who scummed over who? You know, what happened? And again, like,
DMG.
if you
Can you
grow,
explain?
what happened?
I don't know what DMG. What is that? I may be out of the loop with that. What happened with that one?
He sponsored Inthol, Burn Your Bra, Rico Suave. They sponsored a bunch of people.
Okay. Okay, then what happened?
The scummy stuff. There was a lot of scummy stuff, and people not getting paid, and people not traveling, and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, like I don't know the full on details. Yeah, you had to pay to be sponsored. Like, yeah, there was all sorts of crazy stuff. Like, they wanted to sponsor me at one point, and like was saying they were gonna give me money, and then it didn't happen because all hell broke loose, and they lost all their money. I forgot that there was some crazy stuff. But yeah, that would be a perfect person, because I would be like, look, like, I understand this is part of the past. I'm not gonna fault you now. So I would actually want to know, like, yo, let's be real. What happened? You know, like, because again, like, there's a whole bunch of like building bricks. They're they're all built straight up. So if one falls, they all fall. But I would like to know, you know, for a lot of these things, infiltration. You know, be like, yo, what happened? You know, we don't have to go like super in detail. Be like, hey, look, like, what's going on? What's going on in your mind right now? Do you feel apologetic? You know, like, for saying the N-word and all, like that. This is the type of stuff I would be asking. Like, obviously he could say no, you see, but this is the thing. They could say no. And then they'd be like, all right, dog, I don't know what else to tell you, man. Oof.
Well,
so you'd have to...
fucked in that. Like, they don't know. It's like, I was there with him the moment he started the stream. I was there in the channel. Okay, you guys can watch it again. But when he was explaining, when he said the word N-word, he was saying that like as a story. Like, he was saying, back in the day, my friends, like my close friends, can call me, hey, yada yada, whatever, Chinese word or Korean word. You like rice? Like, they would troll me with that. And then since they're my close African American friend, I can say also, hey, what's up, my N-word? Like, so he was saying that back then. He was saying as a story of how it was back then. So when he said the N-word, he was saying that as a story. He wasn't basically saying currently right now. And then people cut that. People took cut that, 5-second, 8-second clip and post that on social media all over the place. And they made him seem like he's super racist. I'm like, bro, that's not exactly what happened. If you guys watched the 2.5-hour fucking podcast or a statement that he did, that wasn't how that's not how he came down. So that's why I was like, that's so fucked up. But like, it is what it is.
The thing with that case specifically, I actually thought he was set. I thought he was gonna make so much money, and like he was doing good. He had viewers. He was getting subs. I was like, yo, if he just keeps this going, he'll be OD. He'll be rich. He would have been the most paid person in the FGC. But yeah, Like I said, I don't have any room to say anything. I've never said the N word. I don't even curse. You know, just to let you guys know, I don't even curse. Right? So I can't really I can't really determine the weight of what he said. Of course, I think it's all stupid, right? Personally, I think it's all stupid. I can't really have a real opinion, but I think it's all stupid. But at the same time, I understand why people are upset. So, you know, like, I I just think the doubling down was the bad part. If I'm gonna be honest, I think the doubling down was bad.
Like what? Which part? Did he double down? I don't think he did though.
No, like, after that happened, it's like, he didn't, obviously he doesn't speak English, so
The language barriers. There's language barriers there too.
Like, he couldn't word things well. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Pretty rough.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Also, not to mention, he's not gonna okay. I think it all started with his whatever happened with his wife, right, or his ex-wife, right? Like some sort of like domestic violence, and then after that part, like it all got resolved, I think, or it went away, and then people brought it back, like that what he did in the past. Mind you, he already paid for that price because, like, he banned himself for 1 year in CPT, right, for Capcom Cup, for the entire duration. So he actually banned himself for 1 year already, and then he comes back. Everything was normal. Nothing has changed. And then all of a sudden, people brought back what happened in the past. Now he has to repay that price again. That's why he was pissed off. Think about that. Imagine, like, you have to pay for the crime twice.
So I always tell people this, right? I'm like, you think it's all fun and games, right? Everyone thinks it's fun and games when people get canceled and bad things happen to them. Yes, if they are, in fact, bad person, then yeah, by all means, go to hell. Cool. I think what starts to happen is that when bad things happen, right, to somebody, or they cause something bad, and then obviously everyone has the right to go ham on you, right? You pay for it. Now, the mentality of having to deal with it again and again and again and again, people don't actually understand the damage that does to someone's mental. You don't actually understand. Like, for me personally, again, I speak purely out of my self-example, you know, my own life story of what's been happening to me. People don't understand how that actually feels. A lot of people, when they pay for something and they lose things and they're trying to regain themselves and regain their lives, and you go ham on them again, of course they're gonna break again. This is what happens. It happens to everyone. Whenever somebody gets in trouble, they're gonna keep getting in trouble because there's no path. They don't have a path anymore. You know, so it's like when things was happening to me, and then I was like, all right, you know what? I'm really stupid. I paid for it. All right, now can I move forward? No. What? What do you mean no? Nah, you're gonna lose this. Okay. And then the next thing happens. All right, I paid for it twice. All right, can I live? No. We're gonna bring it up again. What do you mean you're gonna bring it up again? So it's like those type of things. Like, I'm here right now because I'm strong. Not because of whether or not you're better than me in life, not because you're cooler or anything, not because I have money or I truly don't care about what anybody says or thinks. It's because I'm strong. If I was even 1% weaker, I would have folded a long time ago. I would have been out of this scene. I would have freaking be on the streets, freaking, you know, like, you actually wouldn't know what would happen? When that whole EG thing happened, they didn't care about my life. Neither did any of these other people that was going ham. You see that, like, so if you now this is the thing. If I was to go absolutely ham, let's say I start cursing people out and I start saying the N-word and all types of stuff, like I go off the deep end. At that point, would people still be able to go, oh, no, that's not cool. Why would he do that? You would know exactly why. And this is the thing. That's why I always find it weird. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, yo, like, let people live. Because if something bad happens, freaking the guy takes his own life, you know, somebody does all types of stuff, then you're going to be like, you're going to be walking around with the Pikachu face like, wait, what do you mean? Like, this is happening everywhere. It's like there is
the mental health of that aspect. Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
Exactly.
That's true.
There is a limit. Like, dog, let people rock. Let people learn. See what people do with a second chance. If someone ruins a second chance, then yeah, that's fine. Get them out of here, all right? But if you can't even freaking like give somebody another chance, especially if what the person does wasn't truly like diabolical. Again, some people don't deserve second chances. If what Mr. Wizard did was true, if it's true, he doesn't deserve a second chance. The guy could burn in hell, right? But again, like other people, it's like, all right, if you pay, oof. Like, living an apology is not healthy and it doesn't work. Exactly. Like, how many people do I still have to apologize to? I'm not doing that no more. Why do you think this thing is happening in the first place? Because I'm still paying for things that happened back then. This whole thing, I'm hitting up FChamp today. Today, I'm chilling with you guys streaming. This is all happening because of something that happened, what is it, 7 years ago? All of this is happening today was because of something that happened 7 years ago. Isn't that insane? Like, isn't that actually something like crazy to think about?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, let me answer this question. Like, okay, Will, I think. Question for FChamp. If this is being read, how did you go about making your apology? Did you reach out to anyone for help or opinions? No, I just basically said what I felt, and that's the honest truth in that situation. Like, the thing is, when you're in that situation, it's just, you can't really lie, or you can't really, like, there's no room to lie or say, like, it's just basically stating the facts, because at that point, like, when you're on social media, it doesn't matter if it's true, right? It doesn't matter, right? Like, it's the opinion of everybody is basically what decides if this is true or not. Or as I said, you just gotta pay for the price. So to me, I just basically have to tell my side, and I just told my side as honest or as transparent as I can be. That's all I did. I didn't do much craziness to it. I just told them the truth. This is what is This is exactly what happened. The thing is, like, the first time I said it, they were like, oh, well, you're using that card that your best friend or you live with a black person so you can say that. I'm like, no, that's not what I was saying. I was saying that that's part of the story, how that happened, how it formulated, like, that situation. I'm not using that as an excuse because I know that's not an excuse, but I'm saying, like, but at least that gives me some sort of, like I've never been racist ever in my life, like, when it comes to that, like, you know, never been, because how could I?
Yeah, people
like,
think
you know,
that like, by you explaining that it makes it seem
I'm
like you're
looking at
deflecting. But it's like, you want to know what happened? I'll let you know what happened. That's exactly what happened. You know, like, how we came to this conclusion.
Yeah, people take that out of context and stating that I'm making excuses instead of them thinking that I'm or taking what I said, like, that I'm taking accountability for my own actions. Despite that, I said I apologize, and I do think that's a terrible joke for that time. Any other time that I would have said that, it would have been
it wouldn't been this bad. But since I said it during this critical time, I do think that it's terrible, and yeah, I take accountability for my own actions. So yeah, so when I said all of that, plus everything that I said at the start, they only took that few lines that I said that I'm very close friends with black people, so I can't be racist. Like, what the fuck? That's not even what I was saying. So at that point, I was like, okay, I can never win this argument. I don't necessarily need this. Okay, go ahead with this shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna go be busy and like, you know what I'm saying? Because they can never win. You know, it's like talking to a fucking wall, right? Like, doesn't matter what I say. Like, they're always gonna have their own opinion. And then, you know, so I never let them control me. So what I do is like I just focus on my career and I just work and just chill and be and just mind my own business until there's a new game that I want to play. Like, so pretty simple like that. Like, I mean, they can't like what they gonna do? Like, okay, champ, you can't compete. You can't. Okay, like that's the only thing you can do basically to me. Like, I'm very very happy with my life. Like, so it doesn't matter what you do. Like, okay, like even if somebody tells me that I can't compete anymore, which is not the case right now, like I can be hella happy, be like, okay, fine, because I've done a lot of things in my career already. Like, I can be comfortable enough in my own skin. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Like, that's great. That's okay. That's okay with me. I don't necessarily need to compete, but I'm always gonna be part of the FGC. But you know, obviously now I could have been competing since last year, but I didn't compete because I was waiting for that public statement from them. So that's the only pushback we have. I want them to tweet saying that I'm eligible
Yeah.
to compete.
Yeah,
I
because
don't-
then,
even though I'm
again,
eligible.
people they're gonna bring stuff up, right? Like, oh, I thought you were banned. You're gonna tag Capcom 100,000 times. You're gonna make things bigger than it should be. Like, that's what makes things so stupid. And I feel like that's always a problem too, because like I stayed after all that happened. I stayed in the scene instead of just like leaving or whatever. And I think that's what like got people even more angry. You know, that's why it was brought up so much, because they're like, wait a minute, like, all right, so we took away Chris's, you know, opportunities, freaking with Disney, with the summit, with a bunch of other projects and stuff. We took away his sponsor. We did all this stuff, right? And it's like, dog, like I'm still here. Like what else? Like, and this is what's always weird too, is that like I'm still here. I'm still here, still haven't done anything bad. And it's like, dog, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to donate? Apparently that won't be good enough, because then I'll be donating as like a form of paying my racism off or something. You know, like they'll think of something stupid. So since there's no winning, like all I can do is live with the fact that everything I do, somebody will try to take it from me. So it's like, dog, you know, that's why we're here today. Honestly, this is why we're here.
Yeah.
Because at some point I was like, damn, like I can't get anything. F you guys. What up?
Have you how's your contract with Twitch? Have you like, did you sign anything exclusive, or you're just streaming based on your previous contract?
Yeah, just streaming normally. I used to have a better split, obviously, but they took that away.
Bro, you need to transfer, dude. Because I'm gonna start streaming soon. I'm gonna transfer to kicked.com.
The hell is that?
I'm gonna send you all the information. Basically, this one, it's like all the top streamers in Twitch are transferring over to this one, and the split is 95-5. So you get 95% of all your subs and all your ad revenue as well. Everybody's transferring, and it's exactly, they're trying to model them to exactly like Twitch. So if you jump early, you get that deal. Obviously, the new people are gonna get that, but then the people that's gonna join later on, they might not get 95-5. They might get 90-10. Then it's gonna get worse to
80/20. Okay, the thing is with me, with my Twitch channel in Twitch, I was the very first pro gamer on fighting games that stream on Twitch. Okay, everybody's like, so I was the first one. This is when from Justin TV, and then it became Twitch.tv. I was one of the very first one. I got the super deal out of anybody from the very first one because I was the first. So like, I loved my streaming before, but like I've said, like now this kick.com, bro, this is an insane split. Insane split. Like, so just letting you know. So if you want to like monetize better, like I'm sure most people are gonna transition to this anyways, because like it's about time that Twitch will have a competitor anyways, right? So that one is just the same copy paste of Twitch. They're working on it. I think it's only been what, a month old, so they're still hammering out certain details, but yeah, so they're gonna get there. So I think I'm gonna stream there.
I think the problem though is that a lot of these freaking companies and whatnot that's tried this haven't they all failed at this point?
The only one that has failed is what, Mixer, but then Mixer got bought out. That's why they failed. But then they still managed to pay out. Okay, like I think they paid, because I had the same agent as, okay, Ninja and Shroud. They all got paid 18 million, I think, each, to stop their contract with Mixer, right? And then I think they got paid like 200 million or something to move over as well. Like that is kind of insane. But I'm saying like this one is like a new platform. The only like, how can it fail?
The thing is that I get ad revenue, like the actual incentive thing with Twitch.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to be paid to actually stream on the other thing.
Oh, because then hours. Yeah.
Because then I would have to, at that point, I'd have to build a community again, you know, and that's.
Oh, absolutely. That's right. That's hard. Yeah, because they have that new incentive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get paid. I will admit, you know, Twitch, woo, they dropping the ball on a lot of things, but like for when they do good, they do good, and I understand if you're a smaller streamer, I'm not gonna say anything about Twitch. Like if you're smaller, if you don't got the sub button, if you don't got the ad revenue share thing, if you don't got the incentive crap, yeah, man.
I didn't like my incentive. My incentive was like, they pay like 2,000, but I have to. That's the incentive, right? And then, like, I have to stream like X amount of hours. It's like, oh my god, I can't stream that much because I have a job. So, yeah. So, but then maybe like the new game comes out, I can stream that much. Because usually when I stream, I have to stream many hours in order for me to love it.
Yeah, exactly. Like when Street Fighter 6 comes out, Twitch might be the only platform to stream on. Because then it's gonna be like,
that's true.
Because then your ad revenue share just for the incentive program, you're gonna be making like 3-4K a month just to stream. So it's like
not counting your revenue.
Exactly, not counting, especially if you stream more, then you get more of the ad money, and then of course, you know, the subs. So it's like I think the big issue is obviously the viewership, right? Like right now, right, we got 100, 200 people freaking watching. Like obviously you guys are getting hit by a lot of ads. You know, I always tell you guys to sub because, you know, it only supports me, and you don't have to see commercials. But at the same time, you know, like we got to make money. People got to make money, and I keep telling you guys, you know, FGC broke. I'm broke too. We trying to make money. This is how we make money. All right.
I guess we can just continue our amazing podcast next. I don't know when you want to do the next one. Let's do sometime this week or next week. I don't really mind. Yeah, we just need to have a meeting on what we're gonna talk about, talking points, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Talking points, obviously, guys. If you know of anything happening, good or bad, like I said, this doesn't have to be just bad. We definitely talk about some good stuff. If you have any good news, tag us. Tag us, freaking, you know, like send a DM or something. Obviously, don't let it be something stupid. Don't be like, oh, you know, did you hear about what happened in freaking with Amaranth or whoever the hell? I don't care. All right, this has nothing to do with me, you, or anybody else. All right, it's strictly FGC, strictly, you know, like people in the FGC, what's going on with them. If someone goes through some bad times and needs some help, like if you got the links and whatnot, like this is the layout right now is kind of stupid, but what I'm gonna try to do is post everything as it happens, you know, so you can see it on the screen, you know, whatever I'll be talking about with the links, with the tweets, with all that good stuff, you know. So yeah, that like last time it wasn't official, you know, and I talked to Champ about this, which is why I stopped, you know, because I wanted, and I told Champ too, again, like I wanted to be kind of like, I wanted to stay out of the drama, you know, and I wanted to do good. And that's what I tried to do. I tried to do good. You know, years of trying to do good. You know, when you get screwed left and right, I mean, you know, like, God damn it. And now we're here. Now we're here because of bad, which is funny. You know, I tried to leave because of good, and then we're here because of bad. Ain't that something? How life moves forward.
Amazing. Yep.
But yeah, so we'll have better talking points. Then yeah. Any last final words, final thoughts?
With me, I'm very happy that I've finally been able to talk to the FGC. Appreciate Chris with the platform. I mean, I know I could have just been side streaming this as well, but I kind of don't want to like enable my channel like that, like just for the podcast, you know. So I like to do something like this. I think this one it can grow into something because there's no podcast in FGC that's consistent. So I think one thing we need to do is just be consistent and have amazing talking points and have amazing guests in the future, and maybe bring in some audience, some viewers that wants to have a few questions, you know, within your community, and then we can have something going, like, and just be like a public forum for the FGC, you know, something that's healthy. I think this is something healthy, you know. It could be constructive criticism, but we can also use it as something that we can build on, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Because I like, and also what I'm going to try to do as well is that, like, if people are starting witch hunts and you know, drama and all that stuff, like, obviously we're doing drama here, but if you're just trying to cause drama just cause, yeah, I want to talk about that here as well. Like, if there's some scumbags, if there's some people, you know, freaking clout chasers or any of that, I want to expose things, you know. But as well, you know, we want to, like I said, if there's good happening, I want good to be noticed, right? Like, I feel like nobody gets noticed enough as it is in this day and age, especially in this 2022 FGC. You know, you gotta keep the bad with the good and the good with the bad. But yeah, I think that is enough. Also, I wanted to talk about the other games more, but I think it would have been better to you know, have a portion of the screen, you know, blank, so we could have like gone through some tweets and all types of stuff. But that's for next time. You know, I feel like also we streamed for 3 hours. We talked a lot of crap, had some good times. But yeah, hopefully I'm gonna try to do this weekly. You know, I was thinking of Wednesdays. Obviously, today's Monday, but I wanted this to be Wednesdays because I just feel like Wednesdays, you know, things are just dead in general. And yeah. I don't know about you, FChamp. You down for Wednesdays?
Wednesday.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Wednesday. We can do this coming Wednesday. We can do one, and then we can go, and so on and so on and so on. Also, maybe we can upload this to your YouTube or my YouTube. Doesn't matter. We could do double upload. Doesn't matter. But yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm definitely by tomorrow. This will be uploaded.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yeah, guys.
Okay, guys.
Thank you for tuning in You already know this was the official episode 1 of The Gods Cancelled with me and your homie FChamp. Yeah, most likely we'll see you Wednesday, and have a good night, everybody.
Later. Bye, guys. Miss y'all. Peace.